Think we good. I think we good. I think we good, man. Chat already in here in the building. You already know. Man, what's popping, y'all? What's popping? What's popping? What's popping? All right, let's get this show started. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I want to thank y'all for tuning in for episode 228. I'm cross-platforming on both YouTube and my TikTok. So again, shout out to everybody that's showing major love, light, and energy. You already know the vibes. We on just on a great time over here. So great Sunday night episode, great Sunday, and appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Let me get this thing majig. Okay, cool. Yeah, smooth. So again, let's get this show started. You already know I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. My hat. That's my hat, right? The hat, right? I'm rocking my Atlanta Braves hat tonight. I'm not an Atlanta Braves fan, by the way. It's just a hat for me. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Hold on. What we got over here? 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 Shout out to the chat. The chat is already in here in the building. Show major love in the chat. Make sure y'all hit them likes. Make sure y'all hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. And we continue to grow. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12,000 subscribers. We almost close to 13, if I'm not mistaken. So continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. It helps with the growth of the show. And again, we also have membership portion in the chat. Different memberships do get granted different access. So take advantage of those memberships. And again, major love to y'all. We already hit our goal for 26 members of the new year for 2026. We actually were supposed to do it all in one night, but we came really close and we hit our goal. So again, thank y'all for showing major love in those memberships as well. Also, you already know, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out for being and saying negative things. Have the ability to be positive and stand out for being positive. Remember, y'all, the only op we recognize over here is opportunity. Hate has a location. It's just not here. And again, shout out to both. I'm cross-platforming on both platforms. And again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. All right, y'all. Yo, no further ado, man. Let's get this show started. Let's get it popping. Episode 228. And again, if this is your first time tuning and tapping in, I am Ashley Lovechild, and it's the Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. We talk about everything here: music, sports, entertainment, social commentary, and we have a good time doing it as well. We get to the nitty gritty, and we also keep it lighthearted as well too. So, all right, y'all, let's get it started. First question of the night. You already know this segment is brought to you by OUV Records, where you get the where you go to at Instagram right now, at OUV Records, and make sure you stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. You see it back there, right? The label motto is create, document, and inspire. And don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. Again, it helps with the growth of the show. Quick shout out to the chat. What am I doing? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Shay in the building. Shout out to King P. Big badge holders. We got badge holders in the building. We got big badge. So you got the black badge. So that means, King P, you had your badge for over a year. Appreciate you, as always, contributing to the show. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Hey, Ashley and chat. Shout out to Coach in the building, brothers and sisters. Shout out to Treatment in the building. You're BK all day. Shout out to, I'm not going to say everybody, but a few of y'all. Shout out to, went to another big badge holder. Shout out to Clifford in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. And shout out to Ebony in the building. Big badge holders. We got badge holders in the building. All right, y'all. Let's get it, man. First question of the night. You already know how this go. Popular opinions. These are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. All right. Favorite movie from 2025 on this list. Favorite movie from 2025 on this list. All right. Number one, Thunderbolts. Number two, Companion. Number three, Final Destination Bloodlines. Number four, One Battle After Another. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, favorite 2025 movie on this list. I know some of y'all already like, yo, Sinners. Sinners is not on this list. And it's not saying that Sinners is not the best movie. It's saying on this list. Again, number one, Thunderbolts. Number two, Companion. Number three, Final Destination Bloodlines. Number four, One Battle After Another. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Ebony. Companion was a bit of a mind trip. Companion was all these are good movies. I'm not gonna hold you. All these are good movies. Companion was really good. Companion was really good. It did have a twist in there that changed what I thought what the movie would be about. Final Destination, good movie, not great in my opinion. Some people thought it was the best Final Destination that it ever was. To me, all the scenes I could see it coming. One Battle After Another, overrated for me. I watched it twice, very overrated. Sean Penn, excellent. Leonardo DiCaprio's character was well defined, but he was his character was very annoying. It just was very annoying. Tiana Taylor character to me was very incomplete in my opinion, but it was an entertaining movie, but overrated in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with Thunderbolts. I'm going with Thunderbolts. In the chat, I'm seeing Companion in the chat. Shout out to Fam in the building. You got your badge, big badge holder. Shout out to Fam in the building. I was touched by the Holy Ghost, to which she replies, the Father word hits hard. And the Father word hits hard, and you think, my Father hits pretty hard too. He said Thunderbolts as well. He said Thunderbolts as well. So I'm seeing Thunderbolts and Companion in the chat. Me personally, I went with Thunderbolts. The rest of the world at 53%. Mind y'all, over 89,000 people voted on this. Went with Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was a fire movie. If you haven't seen Thunderbolts yet, it was a fire movie. I was on board or not even watching Thunderbolts because I'm waiting for the new Avengers. I'm waiting for X-Men. I'm waiting for all those things. And Thunderbolts felt like the reject crew. Nah, nowhere near it. It's an actual fire movie. Characters are great, well developed. It's a dope movie. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna. Thunderbolts was probably the movie that I did not want to see, and when I watched it, I'm like, yo, I'm tripping. My bad. Fire movie, dope fire movie. If you haven't seen it yet. Shout out to Tom in the building, my dog. Tom in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Ashley and chat family. Hope all is well. Stay blessed and balanced in life. Love that as always. Appreciate you for tapping in. Y'all don't forget to hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. And again, I'm cross-platforming on both YouTube and TikTok. On my TikTok is Ashley Lovechild Mojo, and on my YouTube is Ashley Lovechild. All right, y'all. Next popular opinion question. Most dangerous countries by crime. Most dangerous countries by crime on this list, y'all. Number one, Peru. Number two, South Africa. Number three, Venezuela. Number four, Haiti. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, most dangerous countries by crime on this list. Number 1, Peru. Number 2, South Africa. Number 3, Venezuela. Number 4, Haiti. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Again, we on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12. We close to 13. I'm looking at the number right now. We close to 13, and you know, continue to show that love. So, yeah. Fam, he says South Africa. He's saying South Africa. I'm seeing South Africa in the chat. I'm seeing South Africa in the chat. Ebony says South Africa. So I'm seeing South Africa overwhelmingly in the chat. Mind you, I have the real numbers on which is actually number 1, but for the people's perception. Now, for my perception alone, based on what I see on the news, based on what I hear, I would probably say South Africa. And it's not just going on for 1 year. I'm talking about for a while. It feels like it's always been South Africa, me personally. So I'm going to go with South Africa. In the chat, again, I'm seeing South Africa. So it's not often that the chat and myself and maybe the answer might be the same. So at 45%, mind y'all, over 240,000 people voted on this. Went with Haiti. Went with Haiti. And I'm not surprised at Haiti, to be honest with you, because if you followed Haiti for like the last 2 years, you see all the civil unrest, you see all the prisoners breaking out, you've seen their government basically upside down, and that hasn't been going on for a couple years. That's been going on for a while. I remember I had an ex who is, you know, who was Haitian, and she would say all the time that she loved her country, but it's very dangerous for her to go back because she was mainly raised in America, even though every year or every other year she would vacation back in Haiti. She was like, yo, when I go to Haiti, I'm basically like giving my stuff away because that's just a part of what it is. You know what I mean? Because I could go back to America and get right, and my siblings and all that type of stuff look up to them. So I always kept that in the back of my mind. So again, I went with South Africa, but the rest of the chat, but the rest of the world at 45% went with Haiti. But the actual number, the actual most dangerous city by crime on this list actually is Venezuela. And this is by statistics. Number 2 is actually Haiti. Number 3 is South Africa. And number 4 is Peru. So those are the actual numbers. But for our perception, the chat, myself said South Africa, the rest of the world said Haiti, but it's actually Venezuela at number 1. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. Shout out to my bro Biggs in the building. Big Badge. Told him my bro Biggs got his badge. Not playing. Take advantage of that badge. Hit them likes, y'all. Hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us segment. Y'all know I came up with this because I feel like I got better ideas for both movies and a movie series. So Hollywood Need to Ask Us tonight. I mentioned this movie prior on our old format, so I mentioned it again on this format. But when I mentioned it prior, there was one small inkling. I did not write it, but this one I wrote. So I would love to see a movie. Part 2 of the critically acclaimed movie, Dead Presidents. We need a Dead Presidents Part 2. And I actually wrote the script to this. Yes. Obviously not today, but I wrote it a while back when I thought of the idea prior to, and I was working on it for about 3 months. And I have the script for this. It's actually fire. If you're not familiar with Dead Presidents, the original, I don't know where you've been. You need to go see the original. It is a fire must-see movie if you haven't seen it already. But the part 2 would take place in 1994. And in 1994 is basically 20 years after Lorenz Tate character does a 15 to life prison sentence. The story will follow his kids, which you remember he had a daughter, and then his wife or his girlfriend was pregnant, and it ended up being a son. So you have the son and daughter. You have Sarah and Anthony Jr. And they both, growing up, they're adults, and basically they're still living in the Bronx. And if you know anything about the Bronx in the early '90s, obviously coming from the crack epidemic in the Bronx from the '70s, '80s, and into the early '90s, the same things that plague young Anthony now plagues his son, wanting to be something, wanting to get money. His daughter is trying to avoid certain characters, such like Cuddy, because you remember the mom was dating Cuddy, who happened to be a pimp. And so this takes place at this time. Obviously, it will be rated R. Obviously, it will be a drama. My principal actors for this movie will be Miles Caton, Tiana Paris, Louis the Yasaka, Rose Jackson, Thomas Jones, Keith David, Rayon Lawrence, Terrence Howard, Taylor Russell, Lorenz Tate. So that will be my principal actors for this movie. My director for this movie would be Barry Jenkins. If you ever seen Moonlight, and if a Bill could talk, my art director for this movie will be Hannah Bleacher. Hannah Bleacher has done movies such as Black Panther and Creed, and of course, I wrote it. So I would love to see Dead Presidents Part 2, the continuation, and I think it's a must-see, and I think people would line up to see this movie. I think it will be a fire movie to see in today's age, and it will bring back the nostalgia of the original movie for those who are not familiar. Because you remember in the first movie, Chris Tucker's performance was out of this world. Clifton Powell performance was out of the world. Of course, Lorenz Tate. Just the supporting cast was just out of this world. It was a great movie. And then Keith David stole the show, in my opinion, in that movie. He was masterful in that movie and in that role. So, and Bokeem Woodbine. Bokeem Woodbine did a great job playing Cleon. So I would love to see that movie. Shout out to fam. We need a part 2 of Harlem Nights. Man, I would love to see a part 2 of Harlem Nights. I would love that. Some people felt like Life was the unofficial part 2 of Harlem Nights, but I would love to see that as well. Obviously, they would have to be very slick in how they write that movie, but you have to remember the essence of Harlem Night on why it was so great is because you had comedians in that movie. The only person that wasn't a comedian in that movie, like realistically, or wasn't a comedic actor, was probably Jasmine Guy. But if you're familiar with her character on A Different World, she had comedic parts that she nailed, and she was absolutely funny as oh my God, as Whitley. So, but her role in that movie wasn't about comedy. But everybody else, Eddie Murphy, Della Reese, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, even Phil Cantone, you know what I'm saying? The detective got on my last nerve. I can't think of the gentleman's name. He was funny. Thomas Ford, who's no longer here, from Martin, was funny. Miguel Nunez was hilarious in that movie. Who else am I missing? People don't even mention Robin Harris. Robin Harris was supposed to be the next one out, but he unfortunately passed away. And then his big break was really House Party. But he was in Harlem Nights. You remember he played the dad in House Party. But he had like one line in the movie. That's how funny that movie is. Harlem Nights 2 is going to be very hard to do because there's not a lot of funny people out here like that. I mean, to do Harlem Nights 2, I couldn't sit at the table, honestly, and realistically see a Harlem Nights 2. Obviously, you have to have Eddie, have to have Martin Lawrence. You have to have Cat Williams, in my opinion. You have to have Corey Holcomb. You have to have um, Dave Chappelle, and see, matter of fact, I just don't want to name funny people to me, but they have to be funny in the movie. They have to be funny in the movie. So and you still got Damon Wayans out here. You got, you still have Kim Wayans. Kim Wayans is a nut. Kim Wayans is a nut. So it depends on how they do it and who they get involved. Keenan Ivory Wayans, if he want to direct, him and Eddie Murphy have been great friends. I know Eddie Murphy doesn't want to direct anymore. He directed that first movie. So they may be able to pull that off. They may be able to. I think Mike Epps would do a great job in that movie. So it may be enough funny people. Now that I think about it, it may be enough funny people out there to really put on a great Harlem Nights Part 2 movie. It has to be amazingly written, but you have to give these comedic actors the ability to cook. It's like, yo, you give me something and you give me what's on the script. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you 2 to cook, and then you get one on the page. Shout out to It's Say in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you for tapping in, man. 7:59. Shout out to the TikTok too. I'm cross-platforming on both channels. I will have Monique playing Della Reese. Whew. I can see that. I'm also see Kim Wayans playing the Della Reese Elk type of character, because I don't think you could duplicate Della Reese. I don't think you could. She was just chef's kiss in that movie. I don't want to substitute her for Monique. If Monique is in this movie, she has to have a character that's very different from Della Reese. I want her to have a completely different energy. And if I'm going to put a comedic actor or a comedian in this movie, I'm going with Kim Wayans. I'll go with Monique. Monique was hilarious in Homer Roscoe Jenkins. Oh my God. She stole a lot of scenes in that movie. Now that she bodied Homer Roscoe Jenkins, but I don't want to substitute her for Della Reese. I'd rather have a Kim Wayans Elk type of character, but they still have to be their separate characters though for that. Shout out to Malu in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in as always. One of our mods. She gonna make sure that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm upright, standing good, you know what I'm saying, and keep y'all in line in the comments. So make sure y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Stop playing. My dog CC in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. You already know the vibes. Appreciate you as always, man. Shout out to my TikTok again for showing major love. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a Harlem Nights Part 2. But a Harlem Nights, what was like kind of close to Harlem Nights Part 2? Kind of. I don't want to say kind of. It was different, obviously, but it was good. I remember this was 2025. It could have been 2024. But Kevin Hart did something called Fight Night with him, Samuel Jackson, and Taraji P. Henson. That was excellent. That was an excellent show. The only problem with that show, they only had 6 to 8 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. But that show was fire. I could have. They could have easily gave me about 12 to 14 episodes of that. That was really good. I was feeling that. Absolutely. For a fact, I was feeling that. That was fire. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. Y'all already know I'm going to give y'all 3 must-see movies to tap into. And I'm giving out some Eddie Awards. Y'all already know, if y'all familiar with the show, Eddie Murphy to me is the standard of acting. He's the pinnacle. He came before everybody. And, I think the world of Eddie Murphy. So instead of giving out Grammys, Emmys, Tonys, Oscars, I'm giving out Eddies. So my first Eddie go to The movie called, it came out in 1991, directed by Ray Campantella. This movie stars Carl Lampley, Phil Lewis, Vanetta McGee, Moses Gunn, and Bernard Addison. This movie is called Brother Future. Fire, must see movie. This movie is fire. Again, I'm not going to spoil it for y'all, but this is a young man who's super duper smart, but he in them streets. So you have to see the rest of the movie. It is fire. It is fire. Second must see movie. Y'all must tap into this documentary. Came out in 2000, directed by Chris Fiore. This documentary stars Jay-Z, DMX, Method Man, Ja Rule, and Redman. This documentary is called Backstage. Fire must see documentary, again, about hip hop at that time, late 90s, early 2000s. The time, the energy, the music, the era, it was just different. And it felt so authentic and fire. So make sure y'all tap into the documentary series, hip hop documentary series, Backstage, where it follows the tour. Third must see movie came out 1995, directed by Brett Leonard. This movie stars Jeff Goldblum, Alicia Silverstone, Jeremy Silsto, Alfred Melinda, Ray Dong Chong, and Christine Late. This movie is called Hideaway. Fire must see movie. Y'all see my smile when I said it. It's a fire must see movie. This is about a family that's trying to stay together, and they end up watching the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for y'all. I hate when people give me direction on a movie, and when I watch it, I'm like, yo, they didn't have to give me that. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all tap in to see the movie Hideaway. So my 3 Eddie Awards went to first movie, Brother Future, Backstage, the documentary, hip hop documentary, and number 3, Hideaway. Make sure y'all see all three of these movies, and y'all can catch these on YouTube and Tubi. So make sure y'all tap into these movies. I would love for y'all to go see them, come back, and we'll chop it up. Shout out to Paul in the building. We got Big Paul in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. As always, one of our day ones. Appreciate you as always. You already know the vibes. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. You already know. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. You know I'm going to give y'all some fire music to tap into. Whether it's new or old. Whether it's hip-hop or R&B. You know I'm going to give y'all that fire. So, just like my Eddie Awards, I got some Michael Awards. Yeah, Michael Jackson. I'm giving some Michael Jackson Awards. So, my 3 must-hear songs, my principal artist for tonight, or profile artist for tonight, is DMX. DMX. So, the first Michael Award of his songs, and I'm not going to give y'all songs y'all already know. Some who tap into DMX like that may know some of these songs. All right. So my first Michael Award goes to Get Your Shit Right by Jermaine Dupri featuring DMX. Again, Get Your Shit Right, Jermaine Dupri featuring DMX. Number 2, How's It Going Down? Yo, that song is a classic, yo. How's It Going Down? And my third must-have from DMX, Lord Give Me a Sign. Fire must-have songs on y'all playlist. Go listen to them. And those are my 3 Michael Awards for those songs, for that profile artist, that legendary profile artist, DMX. Rest in peace forever. Shout out to fam. You should do a Prince Award. But see, then that kind of defeats the purpose, right? Because it's either Michael or Prince. You know what I'm saying? It's either Michael or Prince. Like, that's like with the Eddie Awards. I don't want to go from Eddie to Denzel to, you know, to Samuel L. Jackson or somebody else. It's just straight Michael, straight Eddie. You know what I'm saying? But I love the idea though, cause I bangs with Prince. I bangs with Prince. I was bumping Prince yesterday, matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? The best of. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Y'all already know. Send them to Turkey. Some of y'all favorite segments on the show. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. Y'all know the rules of the game. Type in T to send them to Turkey. Type in N not to send them to Turkey. People that say do be on some BS. They may not be on some BS. Send them to Turkey. You know what I'm saying? Or not. All right, y'all. First one of the night. Blade movie. The Blade movie is permanently canceled by Marvel Studios. Before they had an issue with the casting, then they had an issue with the script, then they had an issue if they wanted Wesley to come back or if they was gonna have Mahershala Ali do it. Then they said Mahershala, let's do this movie. Then it was this issue, then that issue. They officially canceled the Marvel movie. Well, Marvel Studios officially canceled the new Blade. So again, are we sending this to Turkey, or are we sending Marvel to Turkey? Type in T to send them to Turkey. Type in N not to send them to Turkey. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to my TikTok. Shout out to my YouTube cross-platforming on both. So shout out to Biggs, my dog Biggs in the building. He's sending this to Turkey. Fan 1472, get your shit. Yes. Jermaine Dupri 1472. Jermaine Dupri 1472 is in my top 5 favorite albums of all time. That album is crazy. So I'm just a little tidbit just to let y'all know. So I'm seeing a lot of T's. They sending this to Turkey. I'm seeing a lot of T's in here. Marvel Studios canceled the new movie Blade. Facts, they haven't got it right in a while regarding Blade. That's a fact. I'm gonna send this to Turkey. I'm gonna send this to Turkey mainly because I felt like Wesley Snipes was still of age to continue to play Blade. And the reason why I say that, because some people are like, well, he's not as young as he used to be. So what? We still get Sylvester Stallone. We still get Arnold Schwarzenegger. They still doing Terminator movies. They still chasing down dudes and things like that. And like they 70-year-old men. So they can let the technology do what they do. You see what I'm saying? So they could have easily used Wesley Snipes. But Wesley Snipes' heart has to be in it, in my opinion, because I honestly felt like his appearance in which movie was that where he made an appearance? I believe it was, what's the red dude? Kill, Murder, something. Deadpool. When his appearance in Deadpool, I felt like it was kind of lackluster in my opinion. People loved it. When I was actually at the movie theaters to see the new Deadpool, and when he walked on screen, the crowd went crazy. The performance was kind of lackluster, so I can understand why Marvel wanted to move on with Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali could pull this off. But if Wesley Hart is in it, man, I'm going with Wesley still. Because it has to be a Wesley script. And the technology could let the action be the action all in itself. You don't need Wesley to do the passage of 57 moves to pull off Blade. You have technology for that. So I'm gonna send Marvel Studios to Turkey regarding that. The chat, they saying exactly as Blade belongs to Wesley Snipes. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like again, I understand because I didn't like they even changed up how Wesley looked in the new Deadpool, well, Deadpool versus Wolverine. They even changed the way he looked. They gave him that futuristic old man look. All right, cool. But it's like if you could, like literally, if you could prop up all the older guys and they're still playing their older roles and reprising these roles, then you could do that with a younger Wesley Snipes easily. So, They haven't gotten it right. And okay, they moved on from Wesley Snipes. Now what's wrong with the script? What's wrong with the script? Now what do it need to take to get this done? Because the people want to see it, but it kills the curiosity. It kills the anticipation when we continue to still get this type of just miscalculation with the movie. Oh, it's back on. It's off now. It's back on. It's like, which one is it? Which one to do? Somebody got an eating problem. Somebody can't keep the weight off for 4 months to pull this movie off. Which one is it? Because you killing people. Really love Blade. Part 1 was fire. Part 2, some people arguably said it was better. I like part 1 better, but part 2 was just as fire. Initially, I did like part 2 better, but part 1 is better in my opinion. But part 2 was fire. Part 3 was ass. It was certified baby doo-doo for sure. But that's why it makes it even more important for them to get this one right. Because I even remember they tried to do a Blade series with Sticky Fingers. No disrespect to Sticky Fingers. Sticky Fingers is actually a solid actor doing certain roles. But Blade? No. So it's very important for them to get this right. So it's just terrible, man. A shout out to Fam. He said it's horrible. Now I agree with you, bro. It's certified trash. Certified trash. It was horrible. You said it was horrible. Yeah. Part 3 was certified trash. Certified trash. And when you hear the background story about it on why it was so certified trash, it's because for some reason Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds didn't kind of get along, or whatever the case may be, and it was hard to get through them scenes. That was a very small part on why that was ass. Very small. It was a terrible script. The villain was whack. The vampire Dracula's supposed to be popping. It's supposed to be like, yo, that's Drac. That's the original Drac. He ain't feel like no Dracula, bro. Who, him? The dude that played? Get him out of here. When it comes to these type of movies, if the villain is garbage, the movie gonna be ass. Simple and plain. So it's heartbreaking that they can't get this right. Shout out to CC. Blade is iconic. You gotta get it down to the T. That's a fact. Malu, how you doing? Yeah, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. All right, y'all. Moving on to the next one. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. Again, type in T to send them to Turkey. Type in N not to send it to Turkey. This is a statement. This is a statement. You can either send the statement to Turkey or nah. Send the statement to Turkey or nah. If someone tells you the truth out of anger, believe them. Are y'all sending that statement to Turkey or nah? Be truthful. Are y'all sending that statement to Turkey or nah? This is a statement that I came up with. This is a statement that I came up with based on what in my personal affairs, based on what I've seen on social media, and just things that happen in celebrity life, right? So y'all can be honest and send this to Turkey if y'all don't agree, or not send them to Turkey if y'all do agree. But me personally, if someone tells you the truth out of anger, in my opinion, you should believe them. That is their real feelings towards the situation. Some people say, well, people say things out of anger, Ash. Yeah, that can be true, but that's even different in itself. Saying something out of anger is basically something that you already know. So let me make that make sense. If you're dealing with a partner or a friend and they say something to you that you already know about yourself, you already know about a situation, or a situation that y'all supposed to do, y'all was supposed to go get some gas or go get some food, and you flake, and they said that out of anger, then that's out of anger. But when somebody tells you the truth, something that they've been meaning to tell you or they didn't tell you, and they say it because they mad at you, believe them. Believe them. I had an ex one time that would say all these truths when she was mad at me. It was like, yo, so you was holding on to all of this, but it was just cool 10 minutes ago, but now it ain't cool. Now you telling me the truth. So I thought you were telling me the truth 10 minutes ago. I see what it is. I get it. So you have to believe people when they say things out of anger. Even somebody you call a friend and you don't realize y'all not really friends for real. They could say something out of anger that you really did not know. You like, oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. Now I know. So in the chat, y'all agreeing with me in the chat. Y'all saying facts. Like y'all agreeing with me in the chat. Shout out to Malu. It's a statement to the world. Be truthful. Shout out to fam. When you're angry and say something you've been wanting to say, you just got a reason to say it now. My dude Vic in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Can a rapper get a bro? You trying to switch that up? Malu, patience is key 100%, but when patience is gone, you're going to know 100%. That's a fact. That's a fact. Sometimes when you're in a situation like that, you run out of the patience to being understanding. You run out of the patience to being understanding. So when somebody says something out of anger, so for example, again, you ever been with someone and somebody say, oh, you really think those are your real friends right there? One of them hollered at me. So it's like, yo, so we've been doing our thing as a relationship. So all of a sudden, one of my friends hollered at you. And then you allowed said friend to still be around me and you had this information? Oh, so you're not really for me. You're just mad because I'm holding you accountable for something. You're just mad because the spotlight is on you. It was all cool 7 minutes ago. So that's just not for just relationships, romantic relationships. That's also in friendships. Because again, that could easily be a friend that you always spend time with. Yo, bro, you think them dudes over there, you think they really mess with you for real? They only mess with you because, you know, you got this connect over here, or you know this person that could put them on. So be very smart in listening to people, because when you listen to people, you let them talk, they gonna tell you the truth on how they feel about you. When somebody tell you something out of anger, believe it, because it shows you the value that you hold in their life. And if you wanted to hold a higher value, or you thought you held a higher value in their life, they just let you know. People show you what they really feel about you when they don't need you, or when they feel like they don't need you. When somebody feel like they don't need you, oh, you see the truth in them. When somebody feels like they don't need you and still treat you like a human being, still treat you fair, still give you love, light, and energy, that's somebody to always tap into. But when somebody feel like they don't need you and then they really give you their ass to kiss, that's their true colors right there. And it don't matter how long you knew them. I lost friendships after 30 years of friendship. I've lost friendships. Had to terminate them. Because it's like, yo, you're an asshole. And you can't even admit that you're an asshole. So, I got to be careful. Because TikTok be having different type of rules. So, I got to be careful with my words. But, you know, listen to people when they talk, especially when they say things out of anger. Shout out to See, emotion sometimes overrides logics for in the moment. That's what see, but there's a difference with that, right? When somebody says something that you already know, like for real, like if you got a big ass head, pause, like big head, and somebody say out of anger, well, you big headed, you know, mother, it was like, yo, I already know I had a big head, so you're not really mad. You mad, but you not like telling me something I don't know. That's different from somebody putting you on about something, and they wouldn't have put you on unless they was like mad. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I see the difference in the emotions overriding logic. Uh Ashley, but sometimes you tell the truth about a friend if you know your other friend is so loyal to someone someone loyal to someone that don't care about you. You know the drama it could cause sometimes patience is needed, and you could be there when your friend wakes up. Sometimes friendship is bigger than a situation, of course, absolutely. If you and your friend have a fallout, you don't want anything bad to happen to them. Absolutely not. You still, if y'all was any type of friends at any point, you would still just to check maybe or tap into their kids and make sure that the family is cool. Um, but that don't mean we cool. If something happens to them, you will be there. I right, cool. You nurse them back to health, or maybe, or you know, you're supportive. But outside of that, man, I mean, it always takes two to tango. It always takes two. It can't be one sided. So, I mean, I've been in a situation where I've been on an outs with somebody. When my parents died, that person contacted me. I appreciated them contacting me, and you know, it meant a lot. Cool, but we haven't spoke since, and I get it. I really don't want to speak to them. In in real life, y'all don't know my real energy. I'm very a matter of fact type of person. Once I don't f with you, I don't f with you. My cutoff game is nasty because I feel like me personally that I'm a solid friend. So, you know, sometimes if the energy is not reciprocated, I mean, it goes from person to person. But when people tell you things out of anger, and it's something that's not like already existing, like they putting on something new, like, oh yeah, them dudes was gonna do this. It's like, oh, so you know people that want to do harm to me, but now you're telling me because you're mad at me. Those type of people, believe them when they tell you that it don't get no simpler than that, y'all. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our time to rap segment. Y'all already know the vibe for this time to rap time. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. A quick rest in peace to legendary actor T.C. Carson. If you don't know who this is, if you look them up, if you was born in the 80s, 90s, you've seen him in various different shows. He was in Punky Brewster, it's the Steve Harvey Show, Different World, The Corner, the HBO The Corner. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. I remember seeing him in this movie called Ski School back in the day. You know, old school '80s comedy or early '90s comedy. But he was always a standout actor. So rest in peace to the legendary T.C. Carson. Matter of fact, the last thing I probably seen T.C. Carson in, he plays. If y'all watch the Bobby Brown biopic, he plays the father in that movie, in that biopic. So if you haven't seen it, Uh, the 3 golden ones. That's a fact. Hit them likes, hit them 100, y'all. You already know Malo got it right. She got it locked. She got it on lock. All right, y'all. Second, next hot topic of the night. Public Enemy's lead man, Chuck D, legendary Chuck D. He launches a new hip hop printed magazine. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. It's called The Rap Station. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, don't forget, hit them likes, hit them 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all. Like for me, shout out to Chuck D, super duper legend. If y'all not familiar with Public Enemy, you can't tell the history of hip hop without Public Enemy. Do your research. I can't stand when I hear people say that they're rappers or rap artists and they don't know who older artists are, especially older artists, veteran artists, legendary artists who painted the way to what we can say as rappers. Public Enemy, even though I was a little kid when they was out, you know, I knew their music, very familiar with their music because I had an older brother, as y'all can see back then. He was 11 years older than me, always bumping Public Enemy. And the thing that stood out to me the most about Public Enemy was their music videos. And if you're familiar with their music videos, at the time it was very controversy, um, and thought provoking. And it felt so authentic because you heard these brothers speaking and rapping with such vigor, such knowledge, and such patience in the music all at the same time. And you see a movement behind them and the imagery to show what goes on in our neighborhood and what we have to overcome and what the downfall and what the upside could be based in the lyrical portion of the music. And the reason why that matters, Chuck D's history matters, is because I've never read the magazine as of yet, but I will. But because he is who he is, having the history that he has, this magazine means the world. Because he is who he is, the knowledge that he has. And I'm pretty sure the imagery that he's going to have for his printed magazine. I know we live in a digital age. I know we live in an age where people go to the shade room and you know, all these other digital type of outlets. This printed magazine is still needed. There's certain things that should never be obsolete, not just in hip hop, but in the world. Going back to print is a game changer. Now, mind you, most people go digital because it is cheaper, because you don't have to spend money on paper, right? So that's why most people go to print, and obviously everybody's on their phone. But still having a printed footprint of music and the industry always and still matter. It's just like owning a vinyl. It's like owning a vinyl record, right? Most people, they go to the digital, they go to, you know, your Apples, your Spotify, your SoundCloud, your Tidal. Most people don't buy vinyl. It takes a special type of artist to have a vision to pushing music to vinyl. Back in the 80s, early 90s, having vinyl was standard. So going back to the printed hip hop magazine, I don't see why that shouldn't be standard. Now, obviously, because people on their phone, digital is standard, but print will always matter. So I love the fact that he's doing this because of who he is. So I know for a fact, if I pick up this magazine, I'm going to get something that's thought provoking. I'm going to get something that the imagery of what is supposed to captivate is something that's going to speak to me indirectly or directly. and I know it's going to keep me informed with, hip hop news. So I love this. I love this. It's called the Rap Station. I think this is absolutely fire. My dog Rowan Jack in the building, one of our day ones, one of our longest standing badge holders, man. Appreciate you for tapping in. Big badge holder in the building. As always, hey Ash, show his tattoo. Hey Ash, has Ash shown his tattoo yet? Sorry, I'm late. You stupid, Rowan. And my dog Rowan is one of the mods as well. So y'all ain't gonna be in here trolling, cause they not gonna play them games. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna play them games. Peeps opinions, and it's people's opinions on it. It's called the Rap State. That's the fact. So make sure y'all go tune and tap into Chuck D from Public Enemy, the lead man from Public Enemy. A new magazine called the Rap Station. So make sure y'all go tune and tap into that magazine. I feel like I missed a couple of comments. Again, y'all, don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Again, I'm cross-platforming on both TikTok and YouTube. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic, statements. This is a statement, y'all. This is a statement. Now, this statement has been said online, and it's going viral online. Please print your answers in the chat. Print your answers. Please type your answers in the chat. I don't want to be crass, but this is a statement. Paying for kitty, y'all know what I mean by kitty. Meow, right? Paying for kitty is cheaper than getting it for free. Paying for kitty is cheaper than getting it for free. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Do y'all agree or do y'all disagree? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. The chat is the chat is going in early. I'm gonna let a few more answers get in before I say my answers. Okay. Do y'all agree with the statement? Paying for kitty is cheaper than getting it for free. So in the chat, I'm seeing a whole bunch of yeses. It's cheaper, but it's cheaper. Question is what you gonna get for your. But if it's cheaper, question what is you gonna get for your money? Ashley, I can't stand you. Laughing my ass off. Kinda true though. I don't agree. She said I don't agree. 100%. So they said 100%. So I'm seeing a vast difference in the answers from the ladies and the fellas in the chat. But shout out to Ebony. She says she kind of agree though. She says she kind of agree. I can apply for alimony. I can apply for alimony cash. So I'm going to agree. The reason why I'm going to agree is not for me personally. I'm going off based on what I see in the world view. In the world. Think about this for a second. When you see all these millionaires that become millionaires, they become athletes, entertainers, or what may have you, they get married. Married for about 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. They get divorced. Most athletes, when they retire, y'all can do the research on your own, but it's very high. When they retire, they get divorced within that year. And they wasn't the one filing for divorce. So you make millions of dollars and leave with half. Wouldn't it have been better to pay for a couple of nights of fun and, you know, call you in the morning maybe call you tomorrow, get a cup of coffee, something, get you some dinner. So I get the premise of it, because what most people don't understand, especially when they're dealing with money and women, you don't pay for the woman. You don't pay for the sexual experience. You're literally paying her to leave. Just like these men who were formerly married and then get divorced. You have to pay her to leave. When couples get divorced, you have to, and you're the man that makes more of the money, the majority of the money, you have to pay her to dip. Now, do you want to give her half your money or give her a portion? And not even a portion, a fraction. A fraction of a fraction. You're just trying to have yourself a good time, a good night, or a situation. So I definitely agree with the sentiment and the statement of it when you look in the grand scheme of things. Now, obviously, when you're dealing in transitional dating, if you're dating, then you know what? I don't care how women want to like dress this, and I know I got quite a few that ladies in the chat that support the show, but I'm not Mr. Pander, so I'm gonna keep it straight chaser with you. Whether you want to admit it or not, we're still paying. We're always paying. We're just not paying for the kitty. We're still paying for you to leave. If I gotta get a haircut, I gotta get me a nice outfit, I'm taking you out. Me personally, I don't ask ladies to pay. I don't do that. But if she offers, okay, cool, get that, baby. Cool. A little smack on the butt. Thank you, baby. Get that. We do our thing, and she go. Here, a little gas money, get home safe. Okay, get home safe. Don't stop for anyone. Okay? Get home safe. Still paid. Still paid. So again, because you're contributing to the evening, you're always paying. It's either you're going to pay on the high end or the low end. Now, some women will say, well, that's different. It's not different if you're still paying. I've had women cook for me. Cook for me. Come over to my place and brought food from their place on what they cook for me. So people say, hey, she got you. You didn't have to pay for nothing. Yeah, I still did. Still did. I might have it sexy in here. You know what I'm saying? Candles. Got the scented candles rocking. Got that music rocking. You know what I'm saying? Might have a little the bubbly. It costs money to get the little bubbles in the water. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was $10, $5, still paying. Y'all get the point that I'm making, as either on a big end or the small end. So at the end of the day, I agree with the statement where paying for kitty is cheaper than getting it for free. For free. Because we still not getting it for free. We never get it for free. Even when we get it for free. Because it's not, again, paying for it. It's not like you're paying for the sex. You're not paying for that. You're still paying for the time. You're still paying for the experience. A part of the experience is the fit, is the haircut, is the evening, the ambiance, the food, the gas. It's all a part of it. You don't do none of that for free. You don't do none of that for free, so you're still paying for the evening. So I still agree with the statement, especially when it comes to married couples that get married, get a divorce, and you got to give somebody half your when that could have been a situationship. Y'all could have had your phone when y'all had it, and hey, when it runs its course, hey, we out, and she leave what she got, and you leave with what you got. Just ask Armand Shumpert. He had to give up properties, cars, and things of that nature. I mean, he made over like what, 60-something million in the NBA as far as his NBA contracts. Come on, man. Come on, man. What we talking about? What we talking about? Most athletes that marry the women that they marry don't come from money. Travis Kelce is probably the second athlete that I've seen date and his woman has money. The second. Taylor caked up, y'all. Y'all know Taylor Swift is caked up. Taylor Swift is caked up. Taylor's caked up. But he's like the second athlete that I've seen date a woman that has her own money. The other woman I could think of, I forget the brother name that plays for the Chicago Bears. His wife is Simone Biles, and you know she's an Olympian. You know Simone got her own money on. She, you know what I'm saying. Somebody been cut her millions of dollars of checks just to represent their brand. She's squeaky clean, great role model for kids. That's an easy, you know, $15 million right there for Simone. Got her own money on. You know what I'm saying? Take him out. You know what I'm saying? She paying, you know what I'm saying? She paying for the, you know, for the biff. You know what I'm saying? Good time. Chat is funny. Y'all laughing at me in the chat. Paul, fear is fear. Fear is fear. I hope you feel the same if the gender roles are reversed. But it's not in reverse. It's not in reverse. Now, if a woman was dealing with a man that has no money, which y'all don't like dealing with, most women don't like dealing with men that don't have no money. Let's keep it real, especially when you get over a certain age. Y'all know, ladies, come on, like, are we gonna be honest? When you're young, when you're in high school years, college years, ain't nobody got no money. So you're gonna date you a little broke something. But once you get of age, once you of age of 25 and older, and you got your own motion, and you making that paper stack where you can't count all of it. You don't want no dude with no money talking about potential, bruh. Dismiss me with all that. Ladies, I don't want no dude with no potential. What? And y'all got the money on? So in the very rare case, because we don't deal in exceptions. If she could there be a world where women pay for the nut? Yeah, of course. Older women pay for the nut. Yes, older women pay for the nut, but that's a whole situation. That's not a relationship. A dude that's millionaire, caked up, could drive through the damn drive-through of McDonald's and see a fine girl like, damn, you work here, baby? Yo, quit right now. Come get in the car. Come get, I don't care what they, come get in the car. Get in the car. What? Get in the car. You with me now, baby? Bag. Let a woman drive a nice car, come through the damn drive-through. Handsome dude. Finest dude she ever seen in her life. She be like, oh, he cute. What you looking at me for, sir? You can't do nothing for me. You work in the drive-through. You see my car? Y'all not trying to deal with no dude that got less than y'all. You crazy? Now, maybe in the ballpark, if a dude is in the ballpark, if you make 100,000 and he make 90, that's not even a conversation, right? But if you make 100 and he makes 15 and he got a whole bunch of potential, you're like, yeah, I see you around, dude. Like, if I'm horny, I give you a call. You come through, beat these walls up. You know what I'm saying? But every now and again, but you're not giving him your energy. Ladies, come on, man. Y'all know I ain't gonna pander to y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on. We gotta be honest about this, y'all. Shout out to my chat, too. Because we keep it a buck on the chat. Ladies and fellas and all, we keep it a buck in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Rowan Jack, I'm a gentleman. I was mafia from 12 to 18. I got married at 18. I paid all the bills and been put in a box of a woman that lived free of dates. I can't with it. Rowan Jack, thanks. See, how many women have that same background and story? Not many. So we can't say the exception because the exception is the exception. The rule is the rule for a reason. So I'm not negating your experience, right? I'm saying for the general rule of things, most women don't want that. Even that was your experience, you dealt with what you had to deal with. But if you could change your experience, you probably would. You probably would. I mean, you always, ain't nobody that don't want their own money on. Like, everybody want their own paper stacks, you know what I'm saying? And own options. But again, very few women will deal with a man that don't got his money together, and they will feel a type of way having to deal with a dude that they dating and building a life with, and he comes with nothing, and he leaves with half your shit. If a woman marries a dude and she makes 500,000 and he makes 40,000, they get married, they in bliss, they in love. He's beating your walls up, he's blowing your back out, he's tearing your weave out your head for about 5 or 6 years. Wake up one morning like, yo, I'm cool on this. Then leaves. You're gonna feel a type of way if he leaves with 250. Simple and plain. Just saying. True Ash about that part 2. Mary J. Blige, great example. There's quite a few women that have that example, right? But let's be real about this. Even though Mary J. Blige was on that end, her husband or ex-husband, because we gotta be fair, he wrote and produced some of her biggest hits. Not saying he deserved half, not saying that he deserved half the stuff that like he really tried to hit her with, because I believe that he had a daughter prior to, and it was reports, it was alleged that he was trying to get Mary J to pay child support, even though they got divorced. Like, that's all alleged. I don't know that to be true, but again, he wrote and produced some of her biggest hits. Y'all could go look it up. Look up the name Kendu. And you look on the music credits, he's on those music credits. So, I mean, when somebody contributes to your success, then there's something to be said about that, for sure. For sure. And it's not something that, you know, that they think they contribute. No, like, I did that. I did that. Oh, you want to build a skyscraper? Oh, yo, I bought the land. I bought the land and you bought the bricks to build it. That person deserves something. They helped you do that. Right? That makes sense, right? But when you just along for the ride, you'll be upset about that. You'll feel a type of way. I know that is just women's nature. I had women in my family. I can't. My mom was actually a woman, y'all. Straight from the tap, you know what I'm saying? Straight from the tap, you know what I mean? So I know the ladies, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rowan Jack. He just gifted some memberships in the chat. Rowan Jack, man, showing up, showing out. Again, appreciate your support to the show. It's always necessary or not necessary, but it's always appreciated. So thank you for the gifted, Rowan Jack. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Actor Parker McKinney says sex is not that good. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, actor Parker McKinney says sex is not that good. When she was on the Cam Newton podcast, she had an interview with Cam Newton some time ago, and she had made this statement. I was just privy to the statement that she had made. Parker McKinney, and for those who are not familiar with Parker McKinney, she plays Katie Kyle She plays the youngest daughter on My Wife and Kids. Obviously, she's all grown up. She's a grown woman, y'all. She's talking about as a grown woman. We not talking about Katie Kyle, but her as a grown woman, if y'all needed the face to the name. So again, actor Parker McKinney says that sex is not that good. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Well, if you know how to make love, then sex is like an old art. I love that. I love Model be hitting on them answers. Yeah, hitting on them answers. No, you said old fart. I looked at that wrong. I looked at that completely wrong, Malu. I looked at that wrong. Well, if you know how to make love, then sex is like an old fart. I thought you said art. You said I couldn't see the F in that. Malu, you stupid. That's kind of nasty too. Ebony, she needs to find the right one. Rowan Jack, it's all right. I love the affection of it, but the act is okay. Okay. Sound like a lot of people out there getting a lot of sex. Ebony, yup. She needs love. Ashley, so y'all laughing at me in the chat. Y'all laughing at me in the chat. Yeah, for people that say, sex is alright, that means y'all get a lot of sex from the same person. And it's not that there's anything wrong with that, because when you're dealing with the same person, you feel less like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like less anxious, right? You just, you like, the fit, you know what I'm saying? You get them into their right spot and you hammerstein that ass. You have a good time doing it, right? You do it for the look on their face, you know what I'm saying? So when you're handling your business and you're dealing with the same person for a long period of time, then I can get why sex could be cool, because it could get routine, right? In the morning you get that side booty. You see what I'm saying? In the middle of the night you get that I'm coming in the room destroying you, and 2 in the morning, and I'm gonna go back to the couch after I finish type of booty. You know what I'm saying? Or you have amazingly after argument sex. I don't know about y'all, but y'all ever watch the show Martin? I'm pretty sure y'all seen the show Martin. I named my podcast after Martin, a statement that Martin said in the show. And when Martin and Gina used to argue as a kid, I understood the act of sex, but I didn't understand how can they argue and be so horny right after. But when you're an adult, if you ever got into like an argument with somebody that you love, like like an argument. I don't know about y'all, but yo, gorilla, like, pause for the fellas, but like it takes a whole nother emotion that make you like, yo, come here. Like, it just gets savage. Like, it be savage mode after a really, like, I don't know about y'all, but savage mode after like a really crazy argument. Sometimes I know women like to start arguments because it leads there, but it didn't hit me till like somewhere in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like when my exes will argue with me like on purpose, I'm like, why this stupid? Like, I'm thinking in my head like, what's up with her? But I didn't connect the dots until I got somewhere in my mid 30s. Like, oh, you doing it trying to get off, huh? Oh, you dirty, stinky, bring that ass. So you get, it's routine. It's routine. But sex is always amazing, y'all. I'm just saying, ain't nothing like good sex. Ain't nothing like it. What I don't mean to quote a man that takes man butt. The booty warrior, the guy from the Boondocks. But sex is more important than water. Sex, well, he said booty. Booty is more important than water. Booty is more important. Like when it's good, you rather get some. some meow meow than a damn sandwich. Like, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, especially when it's new. When it's new, cause you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta get in. At least for guys. Obviously, for women, I've noticed women be more hot and more attractive when they're in relationships because they have more of appreciation for their man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard my exes say, they thought I was, attractive when they met me, but the more time we spend, I get even more attractive or something like that. And I think that's basically like a relationship thing. So for guys, the longer we're in a relationship, you still as beautiful, you know what I mean? But it becomes a little bit more routine for us. But, a little switch up every now and again, you know what I'm saying? It keeps it hot, you feel me? But for the ladies, women find men more attractive the longer that they're together, based on from the intel that I receive from my personal relationships. I heard my cousins describe their husbands like that. I've heard, female acquaintances say that to their dudes. So when actor Parker McKinney says sex is not that good, who you been getting this crack? Who you been letting crack? Like that. That's my first question. Cause you fine. Parker McKinney is fine. So with that type of body, I'm just saying. What's that old Maya song? Give you the best that I got. No, that's who song is that? That's no, that's best of me. You gonna get the best of me out this month. You damn sure get the best of me. For real. So it makes me wonder, like, who you dealing with, boo? Like, for her to say that, like, sex is always a good time. You would rather have sex than to do something else that doesn't pertain to money. I'd rather get money, but sex is a hard second. It's but so much money you can get after a while. I'm just saying. It's a good time. The chat, y'all laughing y'all ass off in the chat. I don't run with Jack. She tried sex and it didn't work out for her. She needs love. Okay. Now there's something to be said about that, because there's a difference between having sex and making love. Now, I will say this. Men, as a man, speaking as a man, men, we go hard on a woman that we in love with too. Like, that's even better meat than random meat. And what I mean by that is this. Like, a man, we could smash some random meat, meow meow, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be a good time, you know what I'm saying? But if we in love, oh, you gonna feel it in your heart. I mean, y'all get the point that I'm making. It's gonna be in your soul, solar plex, in your ribs. Obviously, it don't go that far to the heart. Y'all get the point that I'm making. The fact that we put a whole lot of passion into the sexual act of love making. So maybe, that could be it right there. That could be it right there. Facts. My bro Big said facts. Malo. And healthy women is like that 100%. And so we do agree, Ashley. Yeah, I mean, when you're in love, I can't speak for a woman. I only could speak from what based on women have told me. But when you're in love, as a man, when we're in love with you and we're attracted to you, oh, you gonna get some, you gonna get the most passionate splash ever. Like, it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. So I'm just saying. But you can't start the mood without the Diddy oil. Take that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Y'all laughing at me in the chat. Y'all always get a kick out of that Diddy Oil. Shout out to the TikTok that haven't seen the Diddy Oil. You know what I'm saying? They take that edition. You know what I'm saying? It's a good time. It's a party starter. Make sure you get that, fellas. I'm telling you, when the ladies see the Diddy Oil, they gonna start laughing because it says Diddy Oil on it. You know what I mean? Trust your boy. It works. You know what I'm saying? A little motion lotion. You know what I'm saying? Trust your boy. Y'all laughing at me in the chat. Y'all laughing at me in the chat. Ashley, there's a reason for them songs made back in the day, all night long, all night long. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. A lot of, I ain't gonna hold y'all, even though it's just kind of subject but off subject. A lot of us, not a lot of us, I was born in the 80s. I was probably the result of like Lionel Richie, you know what I'm saying? Something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire, you know what I'm saying? I was probably born off of that. A lot of people in the 90s easily bought on for R. Kelly. If your birthday or your year was like 1990, 91, 92, the whole decade, if you're born in the 90s, is off of R. Kelly. I'm just keep it a buck with you. You hear because of R. Kelly if you're a product from the 90s. 80s, my mom's just like Lionel Richie, his music and all that. So I just knew for a fact that Lionel Richie was playing in the background. A little Osborne, the dude Osborne, or DeBarge, or Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know what I'm saying? And my pops kind of looked like the dude from Earth, Wind, and Fire. If y'all can see it in the chat, y'all see him in the back. He kind of looked like one of them Earth, Wind, and Fire dudes, right? See what I'm saying? See mom's right next to him, cheesing, everything. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, your boy Ash is here. You know what I'm saying? I like that she's working that back. I like that she's working that back. Slow motion for me. Hey, that's the song right there. That's the song right there. Lionel Richie hit hard. Y'all see my pops in the background. Shout out to the TikTok. Y'all see my pops in the background and my mom's. My mom's like them, you know what I'm saying? She like them type of looking dudes back in the 70s and 80s. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? She thought my pops was Suavemente. You know what I'm saying? Like, who that? You know what I'm saying? Just trying to say, you know what I mean? Just tell them the truth out here. You know what I mean? And my mom's was something exotic. My pop said he ain't never seen nobody like he seen my mom's. When he introduced my mother to his family, everybody thought my mom's was Hawaiian. Like, come on now, y'all being a little ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? She's straight from Richmond, Virginia. They think she's from Hawaii. Like, they don't, come on, man. Like, they like, yo, that's different type of chocolate milk right there. Yo, chill. That's my mother. You feel me? Shout out to the chat. Y'all laughing. Shout out to pops and moms. That's a fact. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. The NYPD has released surveillance images of Thursday incident where the alleged stabbing of a 57-year-old woman on the Midtown subway train by a young woman. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I seen this video. It's gone viral. It's absolutely terrible that this is going on in not just in our city of New York, but this goes on worldwide. Like, there used to be a time where there was like a natural respect for people who came before us. Like, automatically, I always looked at people that was older than me, like they was my mom or my dad or a cousin or older cousin. You know, when I have friends and I go to their house and stuff like that, and their family and their mom and their dad embrace me and stuff like that, and it's just like a natural respect that you have. And it just seems like as a community, we've lost that. We've lost that. When this young lady thought it was like a cool thing to do, that was a part of her logic to correct this situation. Now, I understand in some aspects, in some situations, that people are grown, whether they're elders or not. And some elders are, you know, they could be a bit much. But at the same time, you know, you go whoop hella ass. You know, at the same time that this person can't reciprocate what you can reciprocate. I remember not too long ago, it was a year ago, where an elder was really trying to come at me. And I'm like, yo, and he was talking like reckless. And I had to tell him, like, yo, bro, I'm going to stop. You win. I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you. And yeah, mother, and you know, and obviously this is not in person. This is on the phone because it's a whole nother energy of person. But on the phone, I'm not doing this with you because I know how this is going to end. And because I can control the outcome of this situation, and because prior to this conversation, I had a level of respect for you. Now, all that level of respect is gone. All I see now is an older man that doesn't understand danger. So because you don't understand danger, I'm going to exit, because now when I react, I'm wrong. Yo, Ash, you know better than that. So at the end of the day, there's something that has to go off as grown adults dealing with elders in our community, especially if they out of line. Especially know to walk the hell off. Know to be like, you know what? You got it. Like, let's keep it real. Somebody that's in their 60s, and we're not talking about the exception, because there's always an exception, somebody that can handle themselves. Of course, there's always older G's that will pack you up like a pretzel if you half step. But the overall, there used to be a respect level where even your tone to their disrespect, it de-escalates the situation without it going further, to the point where this young lady thought it was like an option to stab this woman all up on the train. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I know certain people, as they get older, I've never met a person over 50, over 60 that didn't just let that shit fly. Like, with the things that they said, they don't care about what they say. It's like, yo, they 60. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? They've been through worse. So an ass whooping is an ass whooping, but to unalive them, that's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole level of disrespect. And the people who are of age as adults, we're not seeing the pattern to and what we're showing to our younger adults and younger brothers and sisters, our sons, our daughters. I got a daughter that's going to be 23. So at the end of the day, we have to be careful what we show them, because if we show them it's cool to disrespect our elders, what you think? Like, we continue to live, we're gonna get older. We get older every day. So what do you think? What type of level of respect they're gonna have for us? What type of level of respect do you want them to give the example of people that's coming up under them? There has to be a level of respect, and get back to that, so these situations don't have to be escalated. Because this didn't have to go this far. And living in New York City, it is not a real place. It is not a real place. It's very dangerous. But New York City is the type of place where things get crazy at the drop of a dime. Like, it's not dangerous because of the obvious, right? It's not dangerous because of gangs and this, that, and the third. It's dangerous because on a normal day, if you catch somebody that just finished working a double and they on that train, they tired, and when you on a New York City train, I think in my opinion that they put something in the New York City train system to make people go to sleep, because there's too many people that take that train. So if you put that in that system that makes them go to sleep, you're going to have less violence on the train. So when the train is real hot, that's when you see like a whole lot of agitation. Like, yo, you a little too close. But on a New York City train, I mean, at any given time, I mean, it's almost like having dry hump sex on the train. Like for real, you be, ass to pelvis in bumper to bumper trains. You know what I'm saying? On certain spot in certain stops. If you ever rode the New York City, it could get to that many people on the train at a certain stop. So for this to go here, it's unfortunate, and it just goes to a bigger problem within our own community where we think it's okay to disrespect our elders. I'm not jacking that. I'm not, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I told y'all my situation or story that I went through a situation with an elder. I was like, yo, dude, I will break you in half. It wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be fair. Like I'm really in my prime, dude. Like I will hurt you. You got it. You right. You got it. You got it. I feel you. You got it. Because I could control the outcome. So we got to be mindful of that. I missed a couple of y'all in the chat. Shout out to Rowan12 in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Bro just snatched this Walker. Malu. Hey, Mega Mills. Welcome to the live. So we got Mega Mills in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Brooklyn, Coley Island, strong. Love, you already know. Appreciate you for tapping in. Make sure you hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in, man. Means the world. Shout out to Ike Love. And we got Ike Love, my dog Ike Love in the building. I seen some crazy-ish pop off over someone accidentally stepping on their shoes. But see, it only be us. And I would, even though I don't know that particular situation, Ike Love, but I think it's us that you've seen that pop off with. Because we hold us to a higher level of standard of violence. And it's a thing about self-hate within our culture that we don't even realize it. Like, don't you notice on social media, the over glorifying of violence and gang activity, where you see like in California, shout out to California, I get major love in California, but you see this all the time where people go to the neighborhood, or I would say you see this on the internet. And because I physically gone to California several times, and that ain't never happened to me. But on the internet, they like to highlight when people go to California, you got the bros with like, yo, bro, where you from? And it's only questions being asked from people from our community to people from our community, even if somebody's not from that community. See what I'm saying? And that's what's being highlighted. But when I'm in Cali, when I'm in Los Angeles, I don't get, hey, bro, where you from? I don't get that. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen or it couldn't happen, but I don't get that type of energy. I don't. And it's not because I'm a tough guy 2.0. I'm Mr. Fighter 2.0, even though I handle my business. It's not because of that. But because of the imagery of us checking each other, us stepping on each other's foot accidentally, it just has a level of self-hate that is just so backwards to our community. Staten, shout out to Biggs. Staten, you're a hood. My little respect goes both ways, every way. Being younger or elder, everyone has the responsibility to approach others with respect. That goes without saying. That goes without saying. That's an absolute fact. But there's still a level of respect that you always have to have for the elders. Reason being is because we control the outcome. That's why I had to chill. That's why I had to chill. That elder, he couldn't control the outcome. He didn't understand danger. He didn't understand that. So when you can control the outcome, is not a popular thing to like OD, because you're going to be looked at as the bully. So that's why you have a point in what you're saying, where everybody has to be held accountable. When you're older, you're supposed to be able to see the situation, assess it, and keep your cool like how you be cool. That is a fact. I said that about Chris Rock. That is a fact. But at the end of the day, like, people, it won't change nothing. It won't change nothing. At the end of the day, it doesn't change nothing based on them saying what they have to say. Now, if you turn up, it could change everything. So, shout out to Washida. I didn't even realize Washida's in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Once you but reach a certain age, it's known more hanging with low vibes being. Shout out to Fam, Ash, and LA. They claim colors, but the Bay Area, we don't claim colors. But the Bay Area, y'all don't be playing no games though. Like, it gets serious in the Bay. I know that for a fact. It gets serious in the Bay. It gets serious in the Bay. So it's a lot of healing work on everyone. Yeah, it's always healing around, but we can't evade understanding accountability and understanding the situation, right? Accountability is obviously the elders keeping it cool like they be cool, and if they can't, understanding the situation where you're in your prime, you know you could squash the hell out of them, you know you could pack them up like a pretzel. The end game, what does it change? You whoop that ass, what does it change? The beat down won't give the elder a respect or the respect of you. It's just changed behavior. I remember working with my dad, because, you know what I'm saying? Me and my dad, had a couple of companies and stuff like that, right? So when he was alive, there was a situation with a lady that came to the office, and she was extremely upset with him. And I spoke on his behalf. And her reply wasn't nice, but my reply was stern. It was stern. But it wasn't threatening. It was stern. And I didn't have to, you know what I'm saying? Go get your son. Go get your nephew. Go get your husband. I didn't have to do that, because it was stern. And because of that, and even though she still wanted to be, she ended up looking stupid in a room full of people. And my uncle was sitting right there, and he was like, when she left, obviously she left, he was like, the way you said it and how you said it, you was stern, right to the point, and you didn't play the game, but at the same time, you wasn't threatening. Even though that was her defense mechanism, jumping up her body. She didn't want to be extra. So she left looking stupid. Everybody looked at her and seen that she was the problem. So again, when you understand that you can control the outcome, you know how people think, you know how they're going to move, they're going to jump out their body. It's not going to change the outcome. It's not going to change the outcome. It's the art of war. Sometimes winning the war is not fighting one, but understanding that you're not playing too. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all be laughing at me in the chat. And my upbringing, I was kind of, you know what I'm saying? Crash out. It's a lot of things you learn throughout the years. Not necessary. Not necessary. Why they call you Lulu? I don't know. That's my name. Shout out to the chat. Malo Washida, true. Rowan Jack, I think JRTC. I remember JRTC. should be mandatory for high school. Discipline is important for the youth education. Do I think it should be mandatory? I don't think it should be mandatory, but I think a form of rites of passage should be mandatory. But I think you're saying it should be mandatory because it is a sort of rites of passage. By the time I got to high school, I learned what JRTC was, and if I had to be like man, if it was mandatory for me to be in it, I would have been pissed, me personally, because, and again, I'm the exception in the sense of I've been playing sports. I boxed, I played football, I played basketball, I ran track. So I had the advantage of having a coach, strong male figures outside of my dad. I also actually went through rites of passage programs in my own upbringing outside of sports. So to do that extra while I was playing football too and basketball, being a two-sport athlete, bruh, I gotta wear what? And then it's crazy, like a lot of my classmates used to love wearing the JLTC suit. Like they, you know what I'm saying? All the girls was feeling them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you think you popping because you got the little suit on you? Like, I wasn't hating though. You know what I'm saying? I showed love, but I was like, oh, you think you popping because your shoes are shiny and you got the nice suit. But the girls was loving it though. I was like, I see you playing. All right, I see you. Okay. But I think that's the point that you're like making, because it's a form of rites of passage. But again, that's why I say what I said though. That's how you go. Rowing 12, bro. All I know is someone threatened me. 4th of July coming early. Yo, y'all know I'm like Ron Burgundy. Y'all know I'm gonna read damn near anything y'all put up. Yo, Rowing 12, you stupid. You stupid. He said somebody threatened me. 4th of July's coming early. Yo, that's funny. Damn, like I got like tears coming out my eyes a little bit. That's crazy. Was she the once? The both? Oh, I got that. Fam. Ash. Oh, I got that one. I stopped. Oh God. I got tears coming out my eyes, yo. Rowan 12, you stupid, dog. I stopped hanging on the block. I'm too old for that. Damn. I'm not hustling no more. I got a job now. Love that. Love that. Ain't nothing like growth, and there's nothing worse than rested development. Rashida, when it comes to the community, when the community have a problem like that, we have to face it straight up. Facts. I love that. I love that. That's a fact. That's a fact. So everybody agreeing with you in the chat. They saying that's true. Damn. Fam. Uh, when I was young, I used to move reckless. Same here. Same here. Damn. Whew. It's the combination of the light, y'all. It's the combination of the light. And Rowan 12 had. I'm still laughing about that. Yo, somebody threatened me July 4th coming early. That's the funniest thing I heard all day. So it's a combination of the light and like the little laughter tears coming from my eyes, y'all. Shout out to my TikTok too. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Rashida, can people take a long way? You are right. Coaches are mentors too. When I was young, I used to move reckless. I was moving. Oh God. I was moving time bomb. Shit, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I was moving time bomber. I was ready for all the BS that came with it. But now I'm older, and now I think twice before I do anything now. Now we look like I can't say the word because YouTube, the R word. I gotta say the R word, Wishida. Now we look like ours with what we know now. Oh God. Wishida, what happened? Get a napkin. Ain't no napkins in here, y'all. I should have a napkin, right? Ain't no napkins in here. When I was married before, I was moving like Rambo and the A Team and Wyatt Earp. Malu. That's crazy. That's crazy. Rowan Jack, use use some of that Diddy. Yo, Rowan Jack. I'm trying to get the laughter tears out my eyes, and you not making it any easier, bro. He said use the Diddy oil. Yo, that is funny. That is funny. Helicopter, helicopter. That is funny. Like, it's not gonna help me if y'all keep me laughing, y'all. You know what I'm saying? The tears, the laughter tears ain't gonna help me out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like CC laughing at me too. Like y'all really want me to use the Diddy oil to get the tears out my eyes? Like, come on, y'all. Like, I'm trying like to, be a little serious so it could like, and it's the combination of the light. So, all right, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. President Donald Trump announced housing relief coming this year. Most aggressive housing reforms ever. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I'll give y'all a second to type those answers. Again, don't forget to hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We're a little over 12,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 20, and we just about to hit 13. Y'all stupid. Y'all stupid. Y'all been having me rolling all night. I ain't gonna hold y'all. CC, you gotta rub it. You gotta rub it in your eye. Like, take that. Come on, CC, bro. Come on, bro. Like, y'all, come on. Y'all killing me here. Y'all killing me here. Y'all killing me. What R. Kelly said? Y'all killing me. Aura 112 is that sparkling water. Now, you know, alkaline. You know what I'm saying? That alkaline all day. You know what I mean? We're going to buy Greenland and move people there for housing. Yo, you stupid. CC. Y'all cracking up. Yeah, so I've seen this. I actually like this. I know Donald Trump, and I said this before the election, and I said this after election. Based on the story of the USA, because the USA runs on a script, Donald Trump is out of script. He's not supposed to be doing the things that he's doing, but he is. And it interrupts the order of things, and the reason why they have to go along and get along, because the worst thing that they did is when his second term, when he was trying to run for the second term and he lost, they allowed him to put the right people and pieces in place. So now when he becomes the new president again, that the things that he's doing, and it is for the betterment of the country that we live in, you can't fight it. It's irrefutable. So the fact that he's going to be very aggressive by having these housing reliefs, whether you're renting, whether you're buying, this is going to change the economy up, and more people are going to have more money, and more people what they say, the old saying is, you get more bang for your buck. Like, let's keep it real. These rent rates, mortgage rates are through the roof. And a lot of people that pay the mortgage that they paying didn't sign up for the mortgage that they paid. And some people say, well, how can you say that? It's because in some neighborhoods, based on the area that you live in, based on the state that you live in, they overprice after a while when the mortgages start to go up based on the taxing of the area that you live in. When you paying taxes on your house, the taxes go up every year. Don't be three families in your neighborhood, because now you're going to pay even higher taxes of that neighborhood. When the more people that you have leaving the neighborhood, the more you have to pay taxes in that neighborhood. So I love the fact that he's doing this, and this is going to be worldwide. Like, even for Florida, DeSantis is he's what's the word that I'm looking for? He's incentivizing people that's buying homes, and this is going to be their main home where they don't have to pay taxes on the house anymore. They still have to pay their mortgage, but housing tax is something completely different. Housing tax is something you always have to pay. So, for example, if your home is 300,000 and you buy it straight out, you still have to pay property tax. If you don't pay the property tax, guess what? That 300,000 you pay for the house, you can end up losing your house if you don't pay property tax. The Santos is incentivizing that people, that if this is going to be your main dwelling, you won't have to pay the property tax. If this is your main dwelling, now if you have several, then guess what? You got to pay that. So the fact that Donald Trump is moving in a way where he wants to relieve the whole country and incentivizing people buying homes, because you have people out here that rather rent, and you would rather rent. If you own your house at this point, yo, kudos to you. Kudos to you. You made a situation where you could benefit from it. In this day and age, it's much harder to buy a home only because of what comes with the home. When you buy a home, it just don't stop with you buying your home. There's always something wrong in a house. There's always maintenance issues that you have to take care of. There's always something wrong with the door. There's always something wrong with the paint. There's always, oh, this is kind of old. I know this is new, but on the inside of that thing, it's kind of old. You know, so there's always something going on with a house that's very, it can add up. So I love the fact that he's making it easier, more affordable, and these are the same quality homes. I remember back in 2013. No, this was 2014. When I was first thinking about moving to Florida, it was between Florida and Texas. And in certain parts of Texas, literally 3 years built, 2 years built. Literally, I'm going to give y'all the full scope of these homes in Texas. On average, in the areas that I was looking at, I was looking in the Dallas area, I was looking in the Houston area, I was looking in what's the other part of town? I was looking in the Austin area, and on average, most of those homes back in that 2012, 2013, 14 vein, we're talking about 4, 5-bedroom homes, 3 bathrooms. In Texas, they overbuild homes, so these homes are huge. These are mansions. Mind you, you're getting full on. The gate is, I would say, a quarter a mile up. A quarter of a mile. So you got the gate, quarter of a mile, a big 5-bedroom home, 3 bathroom, a pool. You could get all of that for about, I would say, $285. Back in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 14. And that was the time to buy. That was a buyer's market. That was the last time we seen something like that. When I was looking in Florida, which I eventually moved, I seen big homes, 3, 4 bedrooms on average, 3, 4 bedroom houses. And Florida is built basically 1-floor ranches, but we built it high. 3, 4 bedrooms, pool out back, a wraparound driveway starting at $215. Kid you not. In areas such as Port St. Lucie, Melbourne, what was the other area? Vieira. Not Vieira, it's I think it's Vero Beach. Vero Beach. Certain parts of Orlando was super duper cheap. So now in 2026, people are making decent money, but based on the cost of living, it's affecting everybody in a different way, where it makes everybody feel like, yo, this is you know, for money to bills, where people are still living paycheck to paycheck, even though they make over a certain amount of money. So I love the fact that he's making it easier worldwide for this housing relief, both in rent and in the housing market, for people to buy homes and incentivizing it. Shout out to the chat. I missed a couple of chats. Shout out to Rowan Jack. I had to pay interest to the IRS to pay my taxes. That's a fact. That's a fact. The only relief you get, not the only relief, but one of the reliefs that you get when you have a home and you paying a mortgage is your mortgage interest for taxes. But even that after 2017, it's not the credit is not as high as it once was. I know a lot of people that be like, man, like, yo, but I got my house, I had this mortgage, I got the mortgage interest right here, I even pay real estate taxes. Yeah, but the credit is not the same, and that credit goes on the Schedule A form. Now, some people say, well, the credit works differently when you have rental property. It does. It does. But again, rental property is not the same as main house dwelling. Some people try to get by living in one part of the house and renting out the other. IRS catches that. It still have to be reported a certain way for you to get, so for you not to get tagged on it. Because again, now when you have rental property, you're collecting rent, and they do it in 12-month intervals. So the more money you get in rent, the less you get back on your refund. So it works twofold. It's my business to know this stuff, y'all. So yeah, so I agree with you, Roman Jack, for sure. In Washington, you have to pay a license to have a pet for. You have to have a license to have a pet, and for each pet. That's crazy. Malu, and the banks is clever too. 100%. You think they take your money out? You pay to have a card that have access to your account. It's insane. When one thinks about their paycheck after doing all that work. Facts, facts. Fam. 300,000. Yeah, these houses in Texas and in Florida back in 2013, 2014, I'm talking about, these are not cheap houses. These was big, beautiful homes. 3-4 bedroom, pool. I've seen houses with an indoor pool, outdoor pool. 285, 300 back in 2012. I remember I ended up in Orlando, but I seen this condo in Orlando one time where I was living. I was like, yeah, we're about to move to Orlando. Because the condo was so fly that it was on the second floor. And I was like, oh. And then, like, a part of the condo, they had two big windows. One that overlooked, like, the city. And then the other side was the actual pool. So y'all got a pool on the second floor in my condo? How much I want for that? And I was like, yo, we're about to move to Orlando, baby. Like, yo, they had your boy under pressure for that spot. And I wanted that spot. And I did not get that spot because I was too late. And that spot in itself, it was a 3-bedroom condo. No, 4-bedroom condo. 2 bathrooms. It was really big for the space. It was over like 2,600 square feet. And if y'all understand square footage, that is, you know what I'm saying? That's sizey. And then they had an indoor pool, and it had the special walls, you know, because you have to have special walls for the jacuzzi. It was the jacuzzi indoor type of thing on the second floor. I was like, oh, y'all want how much? We about to move to Orlando, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So you could get all that for that type of for all that. So I'm glad that he's putting these things in place for people to achieve these things. And for some people, having a home and putting money into that home creates equity. And if you do it the right way, this is a leg up from being broke and from being poor. Like, this is a home. So shout out to I missed Malu. It should be stopped. Damn, that went up too quick. It should be stopped. All minor companies that take money out of the money should be closed. Uh, Facts. Shout out to Hallie in the building. Gene Vest. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what I do. Uh, it's well when people call out clothing. Like, yeah. Uh, Aroma Jack. If I can't get back to Florida, Vegas seems to be pretty nice. Dry as hell though. I'm not gonna lie. My second home, I wanted to get in Vegas at one point. This was before the pandemic. Vegas was really calling my name at one point. It was really calling my name. It was really calling my name. Like Vegas is still like a nice place. It just didn't feel the same after the pandemic. It felt different. It felt a little different. But Vegas is nice. Vegas is very affordable, and you can get something fly. The weather is pretty good throughout the summertime. One of my misconceptions of Vegas that it don't get cold. The very first time I went to Vegas was like in October, years ago, and I went in October with all my Florida shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we out here, baby, Vegas in October. I'm on my phone, like, yeah, I wish I was in Vegas. I get off the plane. Yo, what a store at? Like, I need winter gear. I need a coat. You know what I'm saying? I need some gloves. I need some boots. Like, where y'all mall at? Like, I'm freezing over here. Like, y'all see, like, I was literally shaking. I had like one little light jacket and threw on this light ass jean jacket. People looking at me like, oh, this your first time out here, huh? It get cold out here, baby. You heard about the desert, huh? It get cold out here, and it was freezing. So yeah, but Vegas is a good spot too. In California, it's about 750 to buy a house. That is like real talk. Like real talk. How many people is making $100,000 a year? Because if you're making about 80,000 a year, you can buy a home for 750. Believe it or not, you can. But if you have good credit, you make over 100 grand, they'll sell you a $750,000 house because there's not many people that do that. If you make that type of money, it will be way easier to rent. Way easier. It's not even close. Not even close. Some people say, well, after 30 years, you're going to own it, this, that, and the third. Honestly, to buy a house straight out, it only feels optimal when you're of a certain age. Like, meaning, like, you see athletes, and when they say they went broke, it's like, yo, how you go broke when you made 37 million, your house is 3 million, like all the practical shit, right? Like, if your house is 3 million, you're gonna buy that straight out. You're gonna buy that straight out. Or if you wanted to build your credit, that's easy. That's an easy purchase, right? But how do you go broke when you have assets, things that gain in value, right? So when regular people or people that work hard, I should say, people that are not athletes that make millions of dollars from this sport and get millions of dollars and quick access to money, again, it's not a lot of people that could do that. So 750 a house is crazy. Rashida, individuals buying land, buying whole communities, making money right now. I believe it because you have a lot of people that's not. It's individuals doing it. It's not a lot of people that's buying. It's individuals. It's a very small portion because you got to remember, maybe 9% of our population, a working population, makes over 100,000. That includes small business owners. So out of that 9%, maybe 2% of them is actually buying houses. So it's not that high because, again, a lot of people are seeing more value in renting. Because when you of a certain age, like, let's keep it real. If you're in your late 30s, early 40s, and you're making $100,000 at this stage of the game, for most people, they're going to do a 30-year mortgage. You're going to be 70 paying off a house? No. Most of us don't even live to 70. See what I'm saying? Like, so it really depends where everybody's financial status is at and where you could take advantage of. Some people who are in the military, they get special military discounts, but even that sometimes could also be trying based on the neighborhood that you live in. So you have to take advantage of the programs when you're buying a home. If you're a first-time home buyer, take advantage of all that. Take advantage of all of that. Who else I miss? Roman 12, bro. In my neighborhood, the average home is 1 million. Yeah, that sound definitely like some Brooklyn, Bay Ridge type of vibes. Rashida, yo ass could build whatever you want for way less brand new. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. Men have to build for their homes and their own loved ones. Shout out to Alan in the building. Malu. Hi, Alex. Having the next man tell you where you're living don't add up for me. My husband and me can do it for ourselves. You can buy land for $1,300, build your own home. Rashida, building a house. I missed that. Building is more expensive than buying. Not my house though. I'm 18, living with my parents. Roll 12, you stupid. Y'all don't forget to like, subscribe. 536, the way I see you. Own it all. Like, here's the thing, like in Florida, right? In Florida, there was a point in time in Florida, again, 2016, 2018, before the pandemic, 2019, you could literally buy land, a big land for 10,000, and build a home straight up. You could do a deal with the company to build your home for 350,000, brand new. So you really done spent about 365,000 on a brand new, and this $350,000 home was a 4-bedroom home, 2-bathroom, and this was in Melbourne. This was in Vero Beach. This was in Vieira. This was in Jupiter, certain parts of Jupiter, because Jupiter is super expensive. This was easily in Florida. This was a normal thing in Florida. This was also Port St. Lucie. But Port St. Lucie already had big homes that you could buy for very, very cheap. That's why you have a lot of people that live in Port St. Lucie, because these homes are grand and they're quality homes. There's another area I'm forgetting, Fort Pierce. Fort Pierce, the housing market in Fort Pierce is crazy. Crazy. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm not rich. But your boy almost bought a mansion in Fort Pierce. So I was like, this was years ago though. It was a while ago. You know what I'm saying? I almost bought a mansion. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm gonna need all this. You know what I'm saying? All this right here. You know what I mean? All this. You know what I'm saying? And then they had the nerve to tell your boy, like, the backyard was fire. It had the pool and all that. It was indoor. And then they said, yo, you got 4 football fields. That's yours. 4 football fields? What you talking about? You see all that right there? That's all you, baby, if you buy this house. And this was in Fort Pierce. And this was like for 400,000 even. 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, indoor pool. And it had 4 football fields. I was like, what? I'm gonna need all that, right? You know what I'm saying? But then I found out that house was sitting on like in a flood zone, and that's why they were so like lenient with the price. You know what I'm saying? Because the tax of the house was cheap, and 400,000 for all that, it was like I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. You feel what I'm saying? The garage, like, it was fly, y'all. It was sexy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's fit for your boy. You know what I'm saying? It was sexy. But Yes, you know. And if y'all know anything about Fort Pierce, it gets floody. I was like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'll pass. You know what I'm saying? I'll pass. Milo Road, so okay down. Uh, it knows more pain after I do my way. I would never pay a dime again the way I set it up. Uh, I'm more of a Lake City bracket. Malu, I don't know that. Everyone's when do something. There's a lot of houses that can be caught cheap in the right season and situation. That is a fact. That's what I'm saying. Like most people, when they buy homes, they have to know when to buy. And the fact that Donald Trump is putting an aggressive relief program together is basically like it's like basically the open season to buy a house. Not right at this second, but these things is coming down the pike where normal these houses that we normally seen for 500,000, when you look up, it's going to be about 315. And you be like, yo, I could get that. I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be less harder to get it too. So absolutely, you got to have the right time to buy. It was another house in Fort Pierce. I'm telling you, Fort Pierce had your boy in the chokehold. It was like another mini mansion, and it was like some Lake Varnell. Oh, y'all remember the episode with Varnell Hill and Martin Lawrence? And the house, it went from like the house, and it had an elevator that goes to like the lake, and like it had the lake under the house, and it was just all that. I was like, so I gotta get a boat. It was like, yeah. Oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? Almost had your boy in the whole chokehold. You know what I mean? The only reason I didn't get that one though, because they said I couldn't change the house because it was like specially built. Like this special architect built this house back in the early '90s, and it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? He made everything fly. Like it had the Scarface bathroom on the floor. I was like, ooh, okay. You know what I'm saying? I see the little bubbly bumps. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Fly house. You know what I mean? Fly house. I didn't get it because, they got bad weather. You know what I mean? So, y'all laughing at me in the chat. Washida 536. How can I buy it? Shout out to More Fire in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. I remember More Fire. Appreciate you for tapping in. This guy not saying nothing. Oh, see, I just showed you some love, More Fire, and now you trying to play me? Come on, man. I'm gonna let you rock because I can control the outcome of this. Like, by you saying that, I know you haven't been listening the whole time at all. So silly. Washida, the right time to buy land and flip it. Yeah, I guess so. You get what you want to get, man. But again, this bill helps people to acquire these properties and homes. My dream house is having a pool on the balcony outside of my bedroom. Yeah, that's fly shit right there. I like that. That's fly. That's fly. That's fly right there. I like that. That's sexy. You know what I'm saying? I noticed some of y'all like the fly and sexy too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like the finer things in life. We all do, right? Y'all don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. R. Kelly has released a new audio from prison, the remix to the song It Depends. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. R. Kelly releases a new audio remix song of It Depends from prison. Y'all, if you haven't heard it, it is bona fide fire. It's absolute fire. Like, listen, you're not gonna make me feel guilty for continuing to listen to R. Kelly music. R. Kelly music is timeless. When I listen to R. Kelly music, I don't think about any of the things that he was accused of or what he was found guilty of. I don't listen to it because of that. That have nothing to do with me. When he was popping, I was a little kid coming up, and as I got older, I listen to this music to get the functions going on, and y'all understand what I mean by functions. So the fact that he's still dominating, and I won't say dominating, but the fact that he still has that talent, and the audio sounds like he was not necessarily in the studio, but you can still hear that this man could still is God given, bro. It's God given, and the joint is fire. I'm not even gonna hold you. Obviously, if it was in the studio, it would be turned all the way up. But R. Kelly was out at a time where he could sing about any and everything. He gave songs away to several artists that wouldn't be legends without him, for real. He gave several songs to B2K, Marcus Houston. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't have been legends, but yeah, I get the point that I'm making. You know what I'm saying? I remember he gave oh my God, what's Nick Cannon, Gigolo. Gigolo was fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can make it was a point in time where R. Kelly could literally make a song about anything. I've heard R. Kelly have a whole argument on the track, and the song was fire. A whole argument. Listening to it one day, my father comes, like, yo, what's going on? Like, you straight? I'm like, what you mean? He was like, yo, that was a song? I was like, yeah. I was like, who? That's R. Kelly? I was like, yeah. And he's arguing the whole song. And the song is fire. So his talent is God-given. There's nothing you could do about that. And the song itself is fire. I don't know if y'all have heard it yet. Let me check out the chat. So Biggs heard the song. He said it's fire. He said it's fire. Washida, we all do. Basically saying we all still listen to R. Kelly. It depends how old she is. Bro, I know, I missed that one. Hold on, let me go back. Bro, I know he's a PDF, but if music is fire, it's fire. Music is forever the king of R&B. Gave some to Michael Jackson, I think. No, it's not, I think. It's a fact. He definitely did a couple songs with for Michael Jackson. He wrote a couple songs for Michael Jackson, for sure, for sure. R. Kelly is a talent that he's a talent, and I don't even like calling him a talent. He's a legend. He's iconic. Because for me, like, a talent is somebody that's extremely good at something that haven't accomplished anything. R. Kelly, like, what haven't he accomplished musically? Like, I remember he would win so many awards for real. He wouldn't even show up to the awards. I remember that as a kid. So, you know, again, when I listen to the music, I don't think of what he's accused of or what he's convicted of. You know what I mean? I listen to it because I'm on my time. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the Diddy oil. You know what I'm saying? I whip out the Diddy oil because I'm on my time. You know what I'm saying? With the ladies that I deal with. I don't do the, you get where I'm going with it? You see what I'm saying? So we take what we need from these people. You know what I'm saying? Rowan told, okay, I didn't want to say for sure since I wasn't too sure. Washida, when the men going to get to the bottom of what happened with R. Kelly. R. Kelly is just a singer, big deal. Shout out to Ray. What do you mean? So when the men going to get to the bottom of what happened with R. Kelly? Well, you got to understand, like, this is no excuse, right? But you have to understand that a lot of the things that was said about R. Kelly, regardless of it's not regardless, but the surviving R. Kelly was definitely a piece that was put together around people that all used to rock with him. And they didn't stop rocking with him because he was doing said acts. The reason why they didn't stop rocking with him because of the supposed said acts, because that was like a thing back then. Again, this is no excuse, but R. Kelly wasn't the only older man allegedly dealing with younger women or young girls. He wasn't the only one. It was a culture revolving that. By the time I got to junior high school, it was normal for the junior high school girls to date grown men. And when they would say, like, yeah, I got a grown man, I'll be like, yo, we in the 7th grade. Ain't no way you dealing with no grown men. Like, what's he talking about? And after school, it'll be a grown man. Be like, yo, we got to compete with a grown man? Like, well, that's crazy. So this was a culture. And they wasn't the first to do it either. If you do the history of grandma, grandpa, again, I'm not making excuses of it. I'm making y'all understand the culture behind it. If you look at grandma, grandpa, when you meet grandma, grandpa, 16, yeah, your grandfather just came home from Vietnam. How old was grandpa? Oh, he was about 29, 30. And you was how old? Oh, I was 16. You got to understand the age of consent, it varies from state to state. It's not 18 in every state. It's not. Do the research on it. Do the research. In New York City, I believe it's like 17 and 18. But if you drive like a couple hours away to Maryland, I believe like Maryland is like 15 or 16. Virginia, I believe, is like 17. And the only reason why I know this is because I did a whole piece on age of consent for the show during our old format. And it just blew my mind that New York City will have an age of consent at 17, but everybody look at 18. It's like, yo, that's the age of no return. You could literally go to Delaware at 15, be a 15-year-old girl, and get married without the consent of your parents. At 15, you could do it in Maryland at 16. You could go to Alabama and do it at 15. So there's a culture behind it for a reason. Not making it okay, but you have to understand the culture. I'm calling a spade a spade. That's why the music industry wasn't like, oh my God, look what R. Kelly was doing. They all was doing it. Look at Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley is still immortalized. And he married a 15-year-old girl, 16-year-old girl. And I believe it was his cousin or something like that. Grace, I think her name was Grace or something like that. She was like 15, 16. Married her when he came home from the war. It's been a culture about this. This didn't start with R. Kelly in the 90s, whatever is alleged and what is really so. It didn't start in the 80s and 70s. You think all them girls at the Playboy Mansion, you think they was all 18 and older? Have you ever seen the movie The People vs. Larry Flint? Talking about Larry Flint, the guy that did, I believe, is a Hustler or Penthouse? I think he did Hustler. His wife, when he met his wife, he was a whole grown man. She was barely of age, because there was a scene where he was running a strip club, and he was like, yo, this is a fake ID, yo. Like, you gotta be, 17 or 16 or something like that. And she like, yo, I'm old enough. Don't worry about nothing. Chill. And he was messing with her from day one. It's a culture behind it. It is to start with him. You know how many bones are buried in Playboy Mansion? Allegedly. So, I'm just saying. Yo, Rowan 12, cut it out, man. Yo, cut it out. Malu, Washida, I tried to make some sense in the world, but I won't grant anything. 5. Shout out to Washida. 536. Now you have to tell the white people the same thing, because they named the White House. They named it the White House. I will, and I did. I missed a couple of comments that y'all had mentioned, but I think it's funny that black stars often happens to be part of there as a predator. 75 to 87 years old white men never get caught before they did, never before they died. Are y'all familiar with the movie Devil in a Blue Dress? Are y'all familiar with that Denzel movie? It's a classic movie if you've never seen it. There's a character in the movie where this older male who was very powerful, running for mayor, the whole movie was basically about him keeping his secret. And I'm not going to ruin the movie for you, but when you watch it, his secret was gross, disgusting, needed his ass beat in all types of ways. And this was taking place, I believe, the story took place, I believe, in the 50s or the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. We in 2026 and now calling this out because of that culture. And this was going on in the 50s and 60s with powerful people. So can you imagine before that? And you talk about predators? Predators walk this earth. But the thing about predators, though, predators, they're raised. They're not born predators. Nobody is. Raised. Hurt people. Learn behavior. I'm just saying. Again, not saying it's okay. Not saying it's okay. But hurt people. We all wasn't born adults. We all wasn't born predators. Just putting that out there. But it goes to your point. Roman 12. Shit, I'm astonished, but pretty sure it's called the White House because it's painted white. Nah, that's not why they call it the White House. Rojak, Caucasian. 536. I'm not the world, I'm heaven. Ooh. Don't say stuff like that, Washida. You know what I'm saying? Don't say stuff like that. You tell a man, like, I'm heaven. I'm the type of dude, like, oh, why? What you mean? You know what I'm saying? I want to know. Ash release our tapes. Release out. Washida, so why you angry? I'm not angry. I'm just a bit disappointed knowing what I know. Steady in the build. Appreciate you for tapping in. Free South Park Mexican. I don't know what that means, but appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Free South Park Mexican. I don't know what that means. Like, I know South Park, but I'm not familiar. I've never watched the episode of South Park. I probably watched like a hot 5 minutes and was like, yo, I'm feeling stupider by the minute. You make a choice to hurt a kid just cause you hurt. 100% you done. Rashida, okay, yeah. So, I mean, we all have strong reactions to like crimes against children, obviously. But there's a culture behind it. And again, I'm not excusing it whatsoever. But we have to understand when it comes to our culture, it's so easy to point out an individual that's from a particular, I want to say a set of circumstances, but just from a background and is a part of an industry that does the same exact thing. And if you're going to have that energy for one person, where's the energy for everybody else? And then when you get your stories from, again, this is surviving R. Kelly, you get your stories from, obviously, people who no longer benefit from being around you. When you have security guards that will say, yeah, they was together, you know what I'm saying? I even helped them get married. I felt bad for her too, but I helped them get married. I falsified the documents. Bruh, how you have a moral compass and you doing all the shady? And I'll say, yo, you shouldn't do that. Bro, you shouldn't be falsifying the documents. So, but you selling a book now. Then you got background singers. They be like, yeah, I used to bring my friends up there. You know, I went to go to the store. I came back to the room and all my friends was in there ass up. Like, what? If you knew this man moved like that, why would you bring more homies in there? Like, what are we talking about? but you was the background singer though. It was cool when you was making that money and when you was on the payroll. It was cool then. So we have to understand that. Imagine your life story is being told and they didn't ask anybody that rock with you. They ask all the people that used to rock with you and don't depend on that money from you no more. But it only happens to us in our culture. You don't hear that with what you call him with Hugh Hefner. You don't hear that. You see what happened with Vince McMahon and the gruesome stuff that happened with Vince McMahon and the lady said that, and this not even alleged. This is how clear I could say this. This is not even alleged. He would defecate on women while other dudes is running through that same woman in the wrestling world. And you don't hear nothing about it. That's probably the first time any of us have ever heard it. And I released this information again on the old format in prior shows when Vince McMahon was going crazy. And this is public knowledge now. The lady said it on record. It's a few ladies that said it on record. But no, Vince McMahon gets to do business. The name is clean out here. He chilling. He's still owning things. Still living his life. He chilling. Name's still good out here. Just saying, y'all. If you're going to have that energy, have it for everybody. And I'm just saying. Bro, I see someone doing anything funny to a kid. The blicky going... Yo, bro, it's all you catching me every time. The blicky going to go clicking. And you know what's going to be when you see me. Think it's going to be chitty chitty bang bang. Rashida 536, learning respect is order. I do my best to show respect to all men. Facts. We got to show respect to each other, ladies and men, for sure. We human beings. Facts. Rashida, I don't care about what people will call a house. I don't care where people come from. I don't care. Racism, no matter what comes in. Milo, Rashida, I show respect to everyone that gives the same energy. 536, all men. 536, not all men is receiving, so I stay in my own lane now. Okay. All respectable, all great conversations in the chat. Love that. But yeah, so all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. 3 out of the 4 men was caught in the home burglary of NFL quarterback, Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders. These 4 men drove from Atlanta to Cleveland, and this was back when Shedeur was making his first start against the Baltimore Ravens. While he was starting in the game, obviously that game was in Baltimore, away, and these men drove from Atlanta to Cleveland to burglarize his home. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And again, shout out to y'all in the chat. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. And yeah, man, continue to show that love. Hello. Is it showing promotions while we on? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Yeah. Marlo, what was she to say? What was she to say? Because Rashida's a regular. We want to give a space for everybody to say what they say. If she's talking reckless, then hey man, regular or not, you know what I'm saying? Gotta keep it respectful. So I didn't see what she said. But you timed her out though. So I hope she was being respectful. But let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. 3 out of the 4 men was caught from the home burglary of Cleveland quarterback Shador Sanders. These three men drove from Atlanta to Cleveland while Shador was in Baltimore making his very first start in the NFL. Ash, make me a mod. Bro, I'm scared to make you a mod, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you, Roy 12. You my dude, cause you are day one for sure. You are day one. I might definitely make you a mod, cause you are day one. You definitely are day one. Ashley, she act reckless towards me. Okay, well, I didn't see what she said. I didn't see what she said, but you know, if she was reckless and disrespectful, I definitely get it. But I don't want to create a space where the regulars don't feel safe to speak. We all have to feel safe to speak, say our piece, regardless if we agree or not. We could agree to disagree and respect each other. Okay? So we all have to respect each other. So if you felt disrespected, I definitely understand that. I definitely get that. Okay? So I just want to let you know that I support you because you support me. Okay? But let's all keep it respectful. All right? Okay. Ash, just give me. I'm not. Bro, I almost read that, bro. You know I'm like Ron Burgundy. I'll read anything that comes on the damn prompter or on the in the chat. You know what I mean? Shout out to my TikTok. I'm cross-platforming on both TikTok and YouTube. But yeah, you know I almost read that. You know what I'm saying? Almost had me crack. Pause. Wow. Pause. Whoa. Pause. All right, y'all. Moving on to we was talking about Shador Sanders. So what do y'all think about that? 3 out of the 4 men was caught. They was trying to they did break into Cleveland Browns quarterback Shador Sanders' home while he was making his start. Well, while he was playing in Baltimore. He didn't start in Baltimore. He played in Baltimore. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Biggs. Oh, so you gonna throw the extra pause on there? You gonna throw that? That's what we doing. That's what we doing. How long I known you, Biggs? You know me like in real life. You actually remember the time I used to be crazy. So we throwing the extra pause on there? That's what we doing? See, you lucky I don't blow you up. You lucky I don't tell the people that you used to throw dudes on their neck. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my bad, I told everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, Biggs used to throw people off their neck. I seen it. We used to, before I got into music, we used to work in the club. You know what I'm saying? I used to bartend in the back, you know, I'm back there with the, you know what I'm saying? I'm back there, you know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. I ain't gonna tell y'all all my secrets. But Biggs, you know what I'm saying, was holding it down. He wanted to, you know what I mean? That's 6'6", 6'7" right there. Three and better. And dude tried to get a little mouthy with Biggs. What? Threw him in the street. That's somebody's child. You know what I'm saying? Throwing another grown man in the street like that on their neck. You know what I'm saying? He said, I did. Yeah, you did. You definitely did. You did that, Biggs. I watched it. I was like, damn, that hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a dude that be like, damn, that looked like it hurt. And in Brooklyn, this is Brooklyn, so those cars coming everywhere. You throw them in the street. Just saying. And you throw the extra pause in there. Heard you. Cool. Bet. I got you. No doubt. I feel you. No doubt. Bro, I used to put Ash. Row at 12, bro. Yo, stop. Choke slam a few people on the bar. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? While I was mixing the drinks. You know what I'm saying? So what do y'all think about that? Again, Shador Sanders, his assailants that broke into his home, burglarized his home, was caught. 3 out of 4 of the men. This is very scary. And the reason why this is scary is because athletes in itself, when they're playing games, people are now realizing that that's a smart way to rob. So when you have these athletes that have millions of dollars, y'all do know the schedule is released to the public because they want people to come to the games. So you know which player is going to be in what city at what time and in the day. You know this player is going to be in Green Bay and he lives in Florida, or the team is in Florida and they're going to be in Green Bay. So there's a chance that somebody may not be home. And people are driving state to state to go from Atlanta to Cleveland, Ohio. That's not that's not a simple drive. I mean, and to have 4 dudes to synchronize their time to make this happen. How do you know that somebody's not in his home? You often see Shador Sanders with his mom at the game, a friend of the family at the game, and they often stay with him. I won't say often stay with him, but you've seen the mom and you've seen the family at his home. So how do you know that they're not there? Were they ready to really do armed robbery? Like, that's a very scary thing. And for a lot of athletes, same thing with NBA players. When they go on the road, they go to the West Coast for 4 or 5 days or a whole week and nobody's there at their home. That makes them easy targets. So what is going to happen for these players for them to feel safe? Because somebody could wait for them to come home. Be like, you know what? They not home. I'm going to wait right here. I'm going to wait right here. When they walk through the door, I got the drop on them. Give me everything that you got. And they taking penitentiary chances hoping to get up on and one of these players because they know their schedule. And for a lot of y'all that don't know, the NFL and the NBA, they have access to their own special security. They have access to that. Why do you think it's easy when they find things out about a player? What the player is doing outside of the game? Is he really studying? How many girlfriends does he have? How many boyfriends he may have on the low ski? They have all of that in place because this is a $1 billion business. And they're basically young CEOs in their own right in this $1 billion business. And you can't jeopardize the business. So what is it going to take, or what are they going to do? What is the new precautions to keep these young men safe when they're going to play the game and putting the show on for everybody else? This is very scary. They easy targets. There was a kid at University of Miami that just got robbed in his own area. Just got robbed. So what are we doing to protect these people and these athletes? I mean, we all need protection, but I'm talking about these are easy targets, people with money and people thinking that, yo, they're not going to be there. We could just go in here, go in and out. We get what we could get and we get out. So I'm glad they caught these young men because it just seems like from our community, we do it to each other. We do it to each other. And it's like, I just see them as bums. Like, that's such a, to me, it's a bum ass thing to do, to rob someone, whether it's on arm or whether it's going to somebody's home. That's a violation. That's a form of rape to me. Excuse me. It's a form of gate to me. I gotta be careful saying that. It's a form of gate. It's a violation for sure. You coming in here, you wasn't asked to be here. Nobody invited you in. This ain't sinners. Hell is wrong with you? So that, to me, that's a form of being a bum. So I'm glad they caught these men. They have one more man to catch, but it's his number's up. They know who he is. They got his mugshot. All they gotta do is find him. Because once they sat the other 3 down, like, yo, if we don't catch him, we're going to give you more time. If we catch him, we can even this thing out a little bit. And it's sad that we look at each other as licks. We look at each other as a come up. That's sad, man. I feel bad for the athletes in a sense where people know your schedule. And mind you, these guys just don't go to the game and they out. They go to, fundraising events, things where they go to the hospital and sign things for, kids who are terminal and ill, and sit down and speak with the kids and things like that. Like, come on, man. That's the last thing you want to worry about when you go home. At the end of the day, athletes are human beings. When you go home, you want to take a shit, a shower, and shave. How can you do that when you've been violated? I'm glad they caught their ass. I ain't gonna hold you. Shout out to the chat. And yo, all I know, if someone breaks into my house, the Glock, the if someone breaks into my house, the Glock like to leave the hickeys. Yo, that's funny. Uh, Absolutely 100%. Shout out to Malo. Absolutely 100%. CC, yeah, they have the luxury. They have the luxury to the max. That's a fact. Now, some people say, well, they stealing from the rich, right? And the rich, they have insurance on things, and it's more inconvenience than anything else. And there's something that could be said about that, for sure. Most people who are rich have insurance. If you steal or take, they'll get it back because it's insured. That doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. It's really bum-like activity. That's why I love Florida, because Florida, for real, and I'm not saying that people don't steal in Florida. They steal everywhere. But it's looked at as such like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a peasant-like thing to do to get money. It's like if you a dude that works on the road in Florida, you work in landscaping, that is way more like yo, you work in landscape than looking at somebody that makes 3 times the amount of that by robbing people, by doing B&Es. That's no respect. People that do the landscaping in Florida get looked at with heavy respect. Cause that's a job. That's real. So I just don't have no type of love for people that do that. 563. I could use a couple dollars too. Malu, my ex-husband and little sister, it emptied my house, sorry. My little sister and husband emptied my house while I was at work providing for them. That is disgusting, Malu. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. That's an ultimate violation. That's an ultimate violation. I thought about that the other day when I seen this come up. I'm like, yo, there's very few people that ever had access to my home that I granted them. So I couldn't imagine being in that position where I'm with somebody and they're in my home because I gave them access to it. I'm like, yo, here's a key. You know what I'm saying? Come as you please. We building something here. Yo, I love you, and let's rock out. And for me to come home one day and they emptied yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah, you ain't gonna see nice ash. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna see that. You wanna see crash out ash. You know what I'm saying? I am a Cancer. So do as you please with that, that information. July 18th. You feel me? And I'm not a 50 Cent level Cancer. Like 50 is petty. Like I ain't gonna front. I could be super petty. I could be funny petty, like 50. You know what I'm saying? I understand 50 humor, but my crash out is scary. I don't champion that at all, at all. I didn't care about the things, but fan pictures, tape collections hurt me real bad. See, the thing is, people say it's not the things, right? And it could be very well not the things in itself, right? It's just the fact that they thought it was okay to do it. It's the principle, right? Sometimes it's not just the value or the value. It's the principle. It's like, yo, I will give you the shirt off my back, or I will cut one side of my shirt. You know what I'm saying? I got a little something, and then you got a little something. You know what I'm saying? And when people take advantage of that, it's the principle. So I definitely get that. Bro, you have to get security cameras. Exactly, Ashley. Malu, Rowan 12. This is why home cameras or comes. I'm not gonna read the rest of that Rowan 12. Y'all know I'm like Ron Burgundy, bro. Like y'all know I'm gonna read the comments, bro. And sometimes I gotta catch myself while I'm reading. You know what I mean? So that's why some of y'all comments I read with confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all ain't trying to. You know what I'm saying? But my boy Rowan 12 be cracking hella jokes in the comments. You know. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. My picks for college football and the NFL. My pick six. Um, So we had the NFL playoffs today. We got one more game left for tomorrow, which is the Texans versus the Steelers. The playoffs been amazing so far. But for college football, the first game I'll call Oregon versus Indiana. I said Indiana will win this game. They didn't win this game. They dominated. Belt to ass situation, 56-22. Oregon looked like they didn't even deserve to be on the same field as Indiana in this game. This was a very lopsided victory. Indiana was beating Oregon, I believe, 42-7 by half. It could have been 35, but I believe it was 42-7 by half. They beat that ass, and it ended up the way it ended up. And those 22 points, those were pity points. They substituted some guys in, and they was able to move the ball up, but it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. It was one point in time I used to root for Oregon, but ever since they got Dan Landon, I'm not a fan of Dan Landon. Smart man, good coach, but his energy for Coach Prom, nah, bro, nah. You coming at the culture, bro. You coming at the culture, and you don't be having that same animosity with other teams. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad they represent the Big Ten. They had a good season, but y'all got your ass beat by another Big Ten team. Next game I called Miami versus Ole Miss. I said Ole Miss will win this game, and they did not. They lost in a close victory, 31-27. Miami is looking really good. Defense is gritty. Offensively, it depends what type of game Beck plays. If he plays well, they will win. If he plays terrible, they will lose. But number 10, his name is escaping me right now. Number 10 that plays receiver. That dude is nice. I think his name is Malachi. I think that's his first name. Malachi Tony. That's his name. Malachi Tony. That dude is nice. He's nice. They got a good physical running back. But Malachi Tony, he is their big play guy. He's their big play guy. And they didn't handily. It was a good game, very close game. Ole Miss still had a chance to win this game at the very end. But Miami edged them out, and Miami will be playing Indiana for the college football national championship. I will have my predictions for that game for Wednesday episode. But I would like to point out that ACC in bowl season, including the playoffs, went 7-2. Big 10, 5-4. Big 12, 4-3. SEC, 1-8. SEC, I've been telling y'all casual fans of college football that y'all don't know what y'all talking about when it comes to the SEC. The SEC ain't nobody afraid of the SEC. I seen a Big 12 team, Houston, dog walk SEC LSU. That don't happen ever. It happened this year. They dog walked them. It wasn't even close. Belt to ass. So that SEC dominance, you casual fans or you fake fans that act like y'all really watch college football, y'all don't watch, man. Y'all don't watch. Ain't nobody afraid of the SEC. The only reason why the SEC was even good through the old regime was because of my man from Alabama. His name is escaping me. Nick Saban. And the reason why Alabama was able to build was because Nick Saban won the championship at LSU, took the job at Miami. It was the difference between coaching grown men who make millions and kids that's trying to make millions. So he went back to college football, took the job at Alabama, and his hook was, hey, I know how to win. I just came from the Dolphins. I know what it looked like to be in the NFL. You come to my school, you go to the NFL. That's why Alabama became a football factory. And what was the effect of that? The other teams in the conference recruited in a way where we play Alabama. If you're good, you come here so that way when we play Alabama, your tape is seen by the NFL scouts. That's how the other teams get good. Nick Saban gone. NIL in. It's not the same. Most kids is not even playing college football to get to the NFL. Some kids are strategically understanding, yo, I'm not going to the league, but I'm good enough to play college football. And while I'm here, I'm going to get my money on. So yeah, I'm going to sign with you for $250,000 this year. If I get my dollars up, I'm in the portal. What that mean? I'm out. And they could go get $1 million the next year from another school. Kids is choosing money over tradition. Ain't nobody afraid of the SEC. Nobody. So that SEC dominance, it is over. I've been telling y'all this. The Big Ten is the best conference in college football. They won a national championship last year, the year before that, and more than likely they'll win this year. Have you seen Indiana? I mean, Miami has a chance. Miami can beat Indiana. They can. But who did Indiana just beat? Bum-ass Oregon. And I'm only calling them a bum-ass because I can't stand Dan Lander. But Oregon is a great team. They're a great team. What conference they playing? Big Ten? Heard you. Heard you. Who Miami just beat? Ole Miss. What conference they playing? SEC. Heard you. Heard you. So I don't want to hear no more of this bum-ass SEC dominance. If you've been watching the Colorado Buffaloes lately, and for the last 2 weeks, their transfer portal class is going crazy. They just signed 2 premier defensive backs from what conference? The SEC. Wise guys leaving the SEC. They leaving the SEC? Riddle me that. They leaving the SEC. Their best players. Alabama, their running back Hayes went from Alabama to Michigan. He's back in the portal again, though. He want to play. He want to play at home. He want to play at Georgia Tech, I believe, and they in the ACC, mediocre conference. The only good team in that conference is Miami. Everybody else is mediocre, boo-boo trash. But y'all get the point that I'm making. Ain't nobody afraid of the SEC. That SEC dominance is over. Shout out to y'all. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. And y'all better listen to Malo. So y'all remember to hit that likes. And if you don't know how to, just double tap on the screen, just like Malu said. Stop playing. You feel me? Shout out to my TikTok, cross-platforming on both platforms. All right, y'all. So moving on to my NFL picks. The first game I called was Rams versus the Panthers. I said the Rams will win this game. They did, 34-31. Great game back and forth. I found myself rooting for the Panthers, even though I said the Rams will win this game. But shout out to the Panthers. They came very close to winning this game. Good playoff game. Next game I'll call Packers versus the Bears. I said the Packers will win. They lost 31-27. The Packers had this game in hand. I think the Packers was winning this game 23-3 at one point in time. And the Bears came all the way back. Caleb Williams played excellent. And it's so funny how quick things change. Just a year ago, the world of the NFL said Caleb Williams wasn't it. should not be, I don't want to say shouldn't be in the NFL, but like it's time to get him up out of here. Like he can't be a starter in this league. Just a year ago. And you see how a year changed? You see how by supporting the quarterback, getting him the right pieces, continue to coach him up, you know it's going to be some ugly. Having a good quarterback is like having good hair. In order to have good hair, you have to go through some ugly days. So look at how that benefited that team. Next game I called Bills versus Jaguars. I'm not gonna lie, I called the Bills on this game, but I found myself rooting for the Jaguars, but the Bills still won 27-24. That game also came down to the wire. Next game I called 49ers versus the Eagles. I said the Eagles will win. 49ers won 23-19. Again, another game I found myself rooting for the 49ers. The 49ers were out there playing hard. And the Eagles, I seen cracks in the Eagles all year, but I thought they was going to beat the 49ers in this game. But 49ers won. Next game I called Chargers versus the Patriots. I said the Patriots will win this game. They did 16-3. A defensive game, pretty much. The Patriots is not going to beat themselves. And it was, a good game defensively. But I want to see some points. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't earn any points, but decent game. Patriots win, and they move to the next level. Next game I called Titans versus the Steelers. I got the Titans. Texans versus the Steelers. I got the Texans winning this game, but their game is played tomorrow for Monday night. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment. So my Keep the Lie Live for this episode. Question. Please answer this in the chat. Again, shout out to the TikTok and my YouTube. Question. Please answer this in the chat. Would you rather money or skill? Again, would you rather money or skill? The reason why I asked this question is because life and the new day and age of college football. But this also goes into life. The question is, again, would you rather have money or skill? In your real life, when you work a job, you can make money. But the money is good, but how long can it sustain you when you don't have foundational skills? When you have foundational skills, you can build on it, which ultimately builds more money. When I think of college football, and I just mentioned, there's guys that's playing that I ain't gonna make it to the league, so I'm gonna cash out everywhere I go. So if it takes me to go from Memphis one year to Arizona State the next year, to Michigan State the next year, to Rutgers the next, I'm gonna cash out. But how are you developing? How are you maintaining a skill that could sustain you? You're not. You're just learning foundational things, and you're doing what's good enough to get enough. Because at some point it's going to run out. At some point you're going to cap. And it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't. What's the purpose of making the money if you're going to lose the money? We hear about NFL and NBA players all the time that went through their whole career. Yeah, I made 80 million my whole career. I made 180 million. I made 100 million. I made 150 million. We just spoke about Odell Beckham Jr. saying that $100 million in career earnings is not a lot of money. And he basically blown through that. And we spoke about it. It's like, bruh, 100 M's. What? Can't sympathize. For me, it's always going to be skill. It's always going to be skill, because skill, again, is something that's foundational. Skill is something that could be built, and you can upgrade yourself with skill. Having a foundation that you can lean on sustains you forever. That's like the old saying, give a man a fish or teach a man to fish. I'd rather learn how to fish. I want to catch my own damn fish. What happens if something happened to you? I need to eat. My family needs to eat. So for me, I'd rather have skill than money, because you can always make money and you can always lose it. But what's the purpose of having it if you're going to lose it? If you have skill, you can always make it over and over and over, even when you lose it. Because money is supposed to be made to make more money. So that's my keep the lie alive for this episode. In the chat, y'all been saying skill. Y'all said skill. So y'all agree with me. Y'all saying skill. New money versus old money mentality. That's a fact. I love that saying. I remember the first time I've ever heard that saying, old money. I didn't get it. I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, and me, my mom, my aunt, and probably my cousin was driving in the car. We were somewhere in Virginia. My family, my mom's side of the family is originally from Virginia, and we going past this house, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's old money right there. Oh, that's new money. That's old money." And I'm like, "What the hell are they talking about?" Right? And I'm looking, and I'm like, I still don't get it. And as I got older, I understand the concept of old money versus new money. In this context, in this space and place, skill always matter. Skill always matter. Skill is something you could build on. Skill never taps out because you find a different way to get money out of your skill. It may be different, but you're going to get some money for sure. Exactly. Skill is everything in this world. Least but not last, hit the notification bell. Yes, absolutely, facts. Yeah, Milo getting everybody together. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yes, but yeah. So that's my keep the la la for this episode. I'd rather have skill than money any day of the week, because skill's going to get you that money. Why do you think people go to college? Why do you think people go to vocational school? Why do you think people set out for mentors? Why do people set out to basically do, it's a form of mentorship, but they do a residency? Skill, development. A lot of these athletes are not going to get properly developed to get long-lasting money. And if you're going to get the money, learn the skill on keeping it. Don't spend it. And sometimes our own journey is through us. You got to go find your own information. When I went to go buy my first house, it was one of the funniest things in the world. And the lady's like, "Yo, you don't got credit." I said, "What you mean?" "Everything I bought off the credit, I paid it off." She's like, "That's why you don't got credit. You don't have no debt. In order to create debt, you have to have debt." And when she taught me how to do it, I was able to get one in no time. In no time. But again, not being privy to this information, not blaming anyone, because my father owned several homes by that time, but I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming my mom. I'm not blaming anybody. This was information that I needed to be a better version of myself and to have it. So if you wasn't taught it, you have to go out on your own and seek out the proper information. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't have to blame anybody for that. It's cool. I learned the use of what credit cards are actually meant for. Because up until then, it's like, yo, that's just extra money on. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. So again, it's the use of learning how to use your money. And again, skill versus money. I missed that one. CC Ash, is most of it mentality too? Like you can have skill and not be smart on how to use it. For sure. For sure. So skill, see the purpose of having skill, no matter how much money you lose, you'll always be able to get money. You'll be always able to eat. What's the sense of getting money if you have no skill? Because now when you lose that money, because eventually you do, it changes everything. I have no money, I have nothing to show for it, and I have no skill. When you have skill, it's a license to print money. It's a license to print money. And that's in all facets. That's in music, that's in entertainment, that's in careers, that's in all facets. Why do you think when you see like people that really know about money, they not worried about it? You think a millionaire, if they went broke tomorrow, like literally, if somebody was a millionaire and they understand money, and they like, oh, I had $1 million yesterday, I literally got $10 in my pocket. You think they will be really worried about if they know the skill about how to make money? No, they make another $1 million because they know how to make $1 million. But there's a difference between being given $1 million without knowing how to make it. See what I'm saying? It's just a skill. 100%. They say 100% Malu. You feel me? 100% CC. CC, that's right too. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. Shout out to my TikTok again, cross-platform on both YouTube and TikTok. My TikTok is at Ashley Lovechild Mojo, and my YouTube is at Ashley Lovechild. So again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. I want to thank y'all for the bottom of my heart for continuing to support the show each and every Sunday and every Wednesday. I don't think y'all realize by y'all supporting the show the way that y'all do, the show is elevating in a way that is necessary because of y'all. Y'all interactions, y'all cracking jokes, because y'all love to crack them jokes. Some of y'all like to troll. But every bit of it is just a sample of love that y'all give to me in the show. And it means the world to me. I have such a passion for podcasting, for talking to y'all, because we gain so much clarity, and this is a space for grown folks. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when I get off of here and I try to go look at other things, like I gotta turn it off because it doesn't sustain me. And this is for the grown folks, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that, even though we have youthful energy. So I appreciate y'all for supporting the show the way that y'all do, majorly. To all the mods, all my badge holders, all my day ones. If you tuning and tapping in, thank you. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. This is episode 228. It's a lot of episodes. It's a lot of episodes. If this was a network, syndication would have been over. You know what I'm saying? So again, I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure at Button Snaps, and for $4.99. The website again is Button Snaps. The word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Also, I want to thank OUV Records. Be on the lookout for that new OUV Records app, where you're going to get a better listening experience, a better interactive experience with the new music, and providing you directly with the music. We cut out the middleman, such as Apple Music and Spotify, and they do not benefit us as the artists in a multitude of ways. So I can't wait for y'all to get this new app. It's absolutely fire. Also, be on the lookout for the new animation and comics based on world domination. It is absolute fire as well. Not just entertaining, but also educational. It's super duper fire. Again, shout out to the chat. I'm not going to say every single person because it be a lot of y'all in the chat, and it's nothing but love. And it's crazy, YouTube be weird with the numbers, and then when it turns off, it's been like 1,000 people that done seen the show. Shout out to, I was about to say Messiah. Shout out to Biggs, Malu, Rowan Jack, Rowan 12. Who else am I missing? CC, Tom. Who else? King P. I'm not gonna say every single person, but again, if I didn't say you, it's not because you're not important. it's a lot to scroll back up and down, and it freezes. So, but I thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Again, it's major love. I appreciate it as always. Um, Next episode this Wednesday, 229. I want to do something special for this next episode. We may do some giveaways, so make sure y'all tune and tap in again on YouTube at Ashley Lovechild or TikTok at Ashley Lovechild Mojo. And if you haven't already, y'all, make them New Year's resolutions. Get healthy in your mind, your spirit, and your body. Your body is your temple. It's your temple. We talked about skill. It sustains you. Nobody says you have to be an Adonis, but you have to be healthy. It matters. Be careful of the things you eat and what you put in your body. It affects you most all. So do y'all research. I wouldn't tell you this. I wouldn't tell y'all this if I didn't love you. And I mean that genuinely from the bottom of my heart. Again, I'm Ashley Lovechild. Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. Again, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. A stain is somebody that try to stand out for being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. The only ops we recognize is opportunity. We celebrate life culture here. Hate has a location. It's just not here. And y'all already know. It's love. I'm going to see y'all this Sunday. I'm going to see y'all this Wednesday at 10:30. I'm out.